This edition of this podcast is brought to you by Avast, a global leader in digital security. Over 400 million people trust Avast to keep themselves safe on the internet. Safe from what? How about hackers? How about malware? How about spyware? How about ransomware and cyber thieves? They want to steal your data. Avast has a special game mode that disables all interruptions and notifications. It says here it doesn't slow down your computer or utilize valuable CPU cycles also. So that's handy. Small file size doesn't bog you down. Available for mobile phones, laptops, and even Mac. Head over to avast.com. That's avast.com for more details.
Hey, it's Tuesday, November the 8th, 2016. You're listening to the Giant Bombcast on this historic day.
That's right.
America decides
Laundry Day.
whether to pick up Infinite Warfare or keep playing Titanfall 2.
I think the choice is clear here.
The choice is definitely clear.
That's what I've got.
It's the one with the robots.
That's what I brought with me.
Pick the one with the robots.
The future one.
I'm
Right.
I'm with BT 772.
The one about frontier settlers versus the people on Earth.
Okay.
The one that's about that one is
space
the one to pick.
space corporations versus space farmers.
One with a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
Perks.
It's a compelling argument you made.
Yeah.
Helmets.
Helmets. Lots of helmets.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Hi.
What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever.
Chilling.
Yeah. Relaxed. Totally.
Yep.
Just at ease.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kicking it.
Normal day.
Living our lives.
Yeah.
It's a normal Tuesday.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday in America.
Yes. We've done many Tuesdays in America before.
Sure.
That's
There's
right.
no problem here.
I've done the overwhelming majority of my Tuesdays in America.
Yeah.
I hope to continue.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
to
yeah.
continue.
And they've gone fine. You're still here.
Most of them, some of them have gone totally okay.
Bad
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
I've had a bad Tuesday.
Okay.
None that I'm going to talk about here, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've had some bad Tuesdays.
Okay.
I've probably done about, if I had to guess, maybe 24 International Tuesdays.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Nothing like a nice International Tuesday just to break things up, though.
A fair number of Japanese Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Japanese Tuesday was a
Yeah,
weird
it's-
Tuesday.
Done some English Tuesdays.
My favorite one.
Can't beat the Taco Tuesday.
That's true.
That's the
You
best.
can have
Tuesday.
those in America.
That's true.
Yeah.
Although I would
On
love
every corner.
I would love to go to Japanese Taco Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
That would be.
Does that make this the International House of Tuesday?
Yeah.
I guess so.
It's always Tuesday somewhere.
IHOT.
Mm-hmm.
Try the boysenberry.
And IHOT, the pancakes only move when you do.
Good stuff. That's solid.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Great material.
I know.
All right.
Yeah.
Now that we've judged the material.
Let's loosen up the room a little bit here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of work your neck out. Jason's playing the music down there. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
Stuff is happening.
Call of
There's
Duty.
a new Call of Duty. There's a new
Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
Oh, right. That thing. Yeah.
I guess that's it. But those things count as things.
Totally. Yeah. I've got a Call of Duty review pretty much written.
Yeah.
I need to kind of give it a once over, clean it up a little bit, and then run it by you guys before it actually runs. It's a really good campaign.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked coming out of this launch weekend, hearing so many people saying the campaign is like the draw. Or
It's
way better than expected, I guess. Like,
Definitely,
people seem so down on that thing.
It's got more variety than it normally does. It has
Yeah.
side missions.
Yeah.
It's got like a kind of a hub, a table you return to and pick your next mission. So it
Yeah.
has kind of like you pick the main missions from that map. But also you can embark on these side missions.
Can you do the story missions in like some amount of random
No.
order, or is it all?
That's all set.
those
And it does give you like hey, this is going to be your last chance to clean up the rest of the solar system before we kind of get into the end game here. So for real though,
Yeah.
make sure you finish these missions before proceeding.
And it gives you like a probability of success. And as you do side missions and get new perks and everything, I feel like that raises the
I
probability.
think so, but that number's just bullshit.
I was going to say
Yeah,
that has to be
it's like-
fake, right? Like
Yeah.
if you can like very competently aim a gun and
I think it's based on
nail
like,
headshots, you could probably finish the mission.
Yeah.
right?
I think it's like, if you have this armor perk or this gun thing or whatever, maybe it bumps the
'cause
number up.
You're unlocking the side missions will unlock perks that are like the multiplayer perks for your character in single player. So you kind of become slightly more powerful over the course of the game. You also unlock weaponry by picking it up. Generally speaking,
Okay.
Does a little animation.
yeah, it's a little scan
Oh, and
animation,
then can you, like, pick
all
a
your guns
loadout?
are 3D printed because this is the future.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's weird. Like they threw away. I mean, if you think about Call of Duty, like it's been near future for a while now, and this is the game where they're just like, oh fuck it,
Yeah.
and it's
Space.
kind of freeing in a weird
Yeah.
way. Not only is it space, it's like we're jumping into what looks like faster than light travel
Yeah.
Okay.
to get to fucking Jupiter like this.
Huh.
Like basically the game takes place over the course of like a day.
You're fighting on like ice moons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw the campaign opens on on the surface of Europa,
Yeah.
which sounds kind of awesome.
And it
Like,
looks
that makes me want to
great,
play it.
You know, like it lets them kind of go places it's never
Yeah.
gone before. You
Yeah.
know, and,
I saw you snap a gun in half and then use
Yeah.
both sides
Yeah,
of it.
you like
Kimbo
hold down
thing?
triangle, and there's just a gun that just you go, fuck it, it's 2 guns now. Brah. And that's real silly.
I really like how frequently it just tells you like, press up on the D-pad and this crazy space vehicle will just blow up everything you're looking at. Or this mech that you have control of, you press up and just bombards it with rockets and everything. Like
Yeah.
that happens quite a bit.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. I feel like past games have had that. It's just been like, oh, it's a C-130. It's like some kind of piece of real military tech. And now it's weird because at times the game feels like a Halo prequel.
Yeah, you tweeted some stuff about
Yeah.
that, and that piqued my interest.
So it's about big capital ships,
Yeah.
and it's like in some ways the most ultimate a Call of Duty power fantasy has ever been, because not only are you an ace fighter pilot who is great on the ground and a great stealth trooper and running in and murdering people and shooting them with guns, you also then become the captain of one of these capital ships and call the shots of the entire crew, while also still going out on the missions yourselves. You're like, we're gonna go do this, and I'm gonna be the one to shoot everybody.
is that issuing order stuff like represented mechanically? Is that something that's not just part of the story?
Well,
it's
again,
not, it's not
it
something where you
is-
get to pick orders and give
No,
them to
you're
people?
not.
Okay.
That is just part of the story. The story is the story of that game is very much about you being a leader and the responsibility that comes with that, with having these lives at your command and what you do with that. So the game is grim in a way that Call of Duty often isn't, even though that franchise has obviously been murdering protagonists for like a lot of years
since
now.
Call of Duty 4.
There's this one seems to tonally find a way to make the deaths of the people that die over the course of this campaign impactful in a way that it maybe hasn't in the past.
Okay.
It's not to say it's some big tear jerking thing, but like it's better than it has been along those lines.
You have a fun robot buddy.
Also, you have
Named
fun
Ethan.
robot buddy. Yeah.
Man,
I like him a lot.
Robot buddies are big this season.
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
How
Wait,
big
his
is
name is Ethan?
Ethan, yeah, he's a
E3
I was
humanoid.
gonna say, that has to be represented with
yeah,
numbers, right?
Yeah, there's a
Oh, is
Okay.
it? Okay, yeah.
that stands for something.
3,
E
4,
3
7.
No,
He- 7-4?
It's just he's like a model E3N, and then they just call him Ethan.
He has a humanoid size. Occasionally,
Yeah.
he'll get on top of like a fence and reach his robot hand out, and you hold an
Okay.
X to get up there.
But
Get
they,
inside
they
and
give you a
then-
hacking tool that lets you hack other dumb robots on the battlefield and take control of them. So you kind of run up to people and hit the self-destruct button and blow up a big cluster
It's
of
like
people.
PsyOps.
And, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see this game has actors in it. Like they made such a big deal out of Kevin Spacey, and then like Christopher Maloney was a little bit less of a big deal last year, and then I
Yeah.
haven't heard a thing about that this year.
This
So I figured
has,
they had dropped
it's
that.
got the dude who plays
Kid-
Jon
yeah,
Snow.
Yeah,
from-
Kid,
Yeah,
Kid Harington is in it, but also like it seems like the supporting cast from what I was reading.
you look like Scott Bakula.
I hadn't heard of half of them, but
I feel like your character looks like a slightly more chiseled Jimmy Pardo.
Okay,
But
okay.
Yeah.
Lewis
it's-
Hamilton?
Yeah, F1 racer.
What is he? Did you meet him?
Yeah, sure, probably.
Okay.
Conor McGregor.
I don't know I don't know.
All right.
Is that dude? All right.
He's in it. Yeah.
Like I
punches
recognized
you at the beginning.
I recognized exactly 0 people in this game.
Okay.
If that tells you anything about me and or the game's casting, probably a bit of both. I don't know.
I was just surprised to see they're kind of doubling down on the storytelling stuff and like giving it a try. You know, putting some effort into
and
it.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Like the weird thing is like there's a lot of dogfighting in this game. Like there's a lot of time of you flying around in space, shooting down other jets and capital ships and all this other stuff. And that stuff's fun enough. It's never particularly challenging, and the control is not as tight as you would like it to be. Like you would never take this stuff over like even like Eve Valkyrie.
Okay, so it's there's no depth to it really.
It's simple, but
especially.
it's fun and it works. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
shooting
frustrating.
gallery.
Yes.
Okay.
The depth is like when you hit L2, you lock onto a guy, your jet starts kind of auto flying.
Okay.
Like it's
that
like
sounds-
that kind of game.
Yeah.
But that stuff is still like it looks great
Yeah.
and is pretty engaging. So even in the context of this campaign, like even if that stuff isn't like some amazing flight sim on its own, it's still fun in the context of it being a Call of Duty game. But like it's weird because like there are Space Marines in this game. Like it is
Like power armor?
no, just they're Marines.
Oh, just Marines in space.
So you know they've kind of taken like the naval track that I kind of hope that when we finally if we ever get to space in that kind of way, I hope it's not just naval terminology applied to space. Like there are spots in that game where they talk about the enemy capital ships like they got tubs out there.
That's for water.
It's just like
Navy's
no,
water.
That's silly.
We need a Space Force. Space Force would be better.
I mean they have their own name, but it is still like they are the Navy. There are petty officers. There's stuff. It's the Navy.
Yeah,
You
Halo
have-
was like that too.
Yeah,
Master
exactly. No,
Chief.
totally. You have
Battlestar Galactica
Marines,
was
you
a
have
lot like
Marines
that.
with you as well. So you have a detachment of straight up Space Marines. They're hanging out with
Space
you.
Marines.
Yeah, doing stuff. But at the same time, it's not a space opera. It is Call of Duty. Like the dialogue and the militarized dialogue is very recognizable as something that came after Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Within the first 5 minutes, they say Oscar Mike.
There's
Like,
a
it's-
Fleet Week.
Yeah, the game has Fleet. Yeah, Fleet Week is in that game.
Yeah.
Space Fleet Week.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds pretty sweet.
It looks pretty cool.
It's a pretty awesome moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Jon Snow actual.
It's got
a lot
its,
of that.
Yeah, totally. Yes, yeah. You are 1-1. You are fucking Retribution actual. Like whatever. You know, like there's a lot of
Danger
that
Close?
type of
Space Danger Close.
yes, space danger close. It is very much that type
Lots
of
of
game.
Roger and Raj.
Yeah,
that
lots of
happens
people
a
saying
lot.
Raj instead of Roger.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
I don't know if I can get down with that.
I don't know. Maybe that's real. I don't know. Maybe people in space say that. They don't have time. It's space.
There's less time up there.
Exactly. So yeah, it's a compelling campaign in a way that it hasn't been in a good long time.
Yeah, that's surprising to hear.
And
After just the lead up to this thing was so profoundly negative.
right,
That's
but
kinda
at
nice to hear.
the same time, like I feel like they don't do a job. They don't even attempt to describe the motivations of the opposing force very well. It's just like we're gonna kill everyone on Earth. Like okay, what? All right, you're gonna perform these like terrorist like acts and then also take out a military campaign. Like you've got this kind of guerrilla thing going on. Like what? Why?
They seem very evil in the story.
Yes, they're just very one note.
Like the
there's-
quotes are like, gun possession is by law within SDF
also,
areas.
when you die, they brought back death quotes, but they're all
Okay.
quotes about how evil the bad guys are,
Yeah.
without actually telling you anything about why.
Or it's just the bad guy saying like, we will get rid of the Earth economy and the Earth freedom.
So
It's a bunch of campaign slogans.
It's a bunch of like people fucking ending every radio transmission with saying Mars Eternum.
okay.
And
All right.
Wait,
yeah.
are you fighting Martians?
I mean, you're fighting humans. The frontier. They went up there to mine,
Right.
And then they turned on Earth.
I played Red
They-
Faction.
You played Titanfall. You know how this
They,
goes.
they went independent.
Yeah,
Mars is okay.
yeah, so they're kind of doing their own thing. They
Writing their
seceded.
war logs.
Yeah. So yeah, there are parts of it that I think could have been done a lot better. But it is the most ambitious campaign they've done in a good long time.
Wow.
You get a deck of 52?
Yeah. They-
Really?
They kinda,
Yeah.
They go back to the Gulf. Go back to the Gulf War. Give you kind of a look at some guys that you if you perform all the tasks on the side missions, you will murder every single person on that list.
Huh.
It's not
Wow.
not like there's no video game part to that. It's just here are the named bad guys and they are ace pilots or they are guys that are on these capital ships that you're blowing up or whatever along the way. Which it's kind of a neat touch. Yeah, so for as ambitious as the campaign is, I think the rest of the game is like the exact opposite. The multiplayer really follows in the footsteps of Black Ops 3. It's that same like squirty boost jumps of
Just a lot of quick darting around.
No,
Or-
it's slow. Like the game feels slow. The knee slide is the only thing that you do that picks up momentum. Like wall runs don't move faster. Like so, it's this plodding, slow wall run of.
You think it feels slow in the context of just having played a bunch of Titanfall 2?
That definitely doesn't help.
Is that the comparison?
Definitely doesn't help.
Yeah.
But like just it feels like they came up with a bunch of, and I felt this way about last year's game. It feels like they came up with these mobility options and then failed to build the maps around them in an exciting way. So in the multiplayer, you've got these cases where you should be able to get on top of this roof. You can jump high enough, you can wall run, you can get up there, but they've built invisible walls to make it impossible for very little reason. There are walls that look like things you should be able to wall run on, but for whatever reason you can't.
I feel like in Titanfall, if you see a roof, even if there's not an obvious way up there,
Totally.
you can kind of just bounce your way up and screw your way up there, and hey, I'm on a roof now. It totally works.
Absolutely.
Skyrim your way to the top of
Yeah,
the
kind
Sort
of,
of,
yeah.
yeah. Yes, that game is better about like exploitation of your abilities, and the maps are built around it. Whereas this, it feels like they just kind of built Call of Duty maps, but then built one section where there's no ground, so you would have to wall run. It's like, here's a shortcut you can take if you're wall running, and that's about it. They have similar abilities as last year's game in terms of like you fill a meter and hit L1, R1 to pop it. They've added new abilities and stuff like that around that stuff. But yeah, like I feel like the most damning thing I can say about it is it's just boring.
Multiplayer?
Yeah, you know, it's this slow plodding pace. The map design I don't think is very good. I think the movement abilities don't mesh with the map design very well. I think the options at your disposal in terms of the weapons you have and all that other stuff are just not that engaging. And yeah, it just feels like they chose the wrong year to like finally say, okay, we're going to pay attention to last year's game and build off of that instead of, you know, kind of trying to do their own thing. It feels like they settled in a bad spot on that stuff because I didn't like Black Ops 3's multiplayer very much at all either.
Yeah.
So doubling down on that just seems like, okay, well, you're almost guaranteeing I'm going to play even less of this game, which I already played just enough to review it last year. So now I'm just like, I don't even want to touch this thing.
But hey, you got zombies to fall back on.
Yeah, they've got the zombies mode.
This is the first time Infinity Ward has done zombies?
Yeah,
right?
it is. Like if you want to if you want one more sign, maybe the last sign about the changing of the guard, about Call of Duty and all this other stuff, like it's that they didn't do the extinction mode again from Ghosts. They just have a zombies mode, and it's set in the 80s, and David Hasselhoff is in it. The one cool thing there is that there are a bunch of Atari 2600 games you can play in there.
Oh, wow. Like what?
Like I think was it like Chopper Command, like River Raid 2, which I put River Raid 1 in there. Like stop, River Raid 2.
It's just like actual arcade machines you walk up to and play.
It's like a ticket system, so you can kind of like you can come back to life. There's a bunch of other it's like it's this movie monster motif that they've built, so that you're kind of starting out in this amusement park. So there's kind of arcade stuff that would fit into that. Yeah, it's another zombies mode. Like you kind of already know one way or the other how you feel about that. Like it didn't change my mind at all. But I've already kind of like I think that mode is lame. It's still like walk up to these windows and make ghost boards attached to the window to keep the zombies from coming through, and all this super limited ammo and all the stuff they built. Like I've never going all the way back to when it was just like some post credits bonus thing.
That World at War stuff.
That they came up
It was
with.
boring
Like,
then.
oh, this is weird. Oh, that's kind of. I guess that's cool. They threw in a dumb little bonus.
God,
thing.
is that really when zombies
It was
started?
World at War, yeah.
Jeez.
And then didn't
feels
come
like-
back for a little bit.
Feels like
but-
it's like a lifetime ago.
It
And
was
then-
just Treyarch for a while.
yeah.
And then they started getting really weird and obtuse with the like, now you have to put the mannequin's head on top of the go-kart and you got to power it with a battery.
There's a bunch of
and
like
then-
there's like lore to be found in that thing.
What?
There's like a bunch of crazy
Huh.
and there's a bunch of like optional things you can do to
like opens up
get
new
at-
areas.
Yeah, open up
and
new
stuff.
areas.
People
and
take their
move around
zombies
and-
very seriously.
People love it.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, people.
Yeah,
love
I mean,
it. I just think the zombies they've put in that game and the way they kind of limit ammo and stuff like that. It's never been fun for me to do any of that.
They
so.
must have the data, the player data showing that it's popular.
It must
enough
be
to
player
keep-
data that's
Yeah.
it's popular enough to keep doing, but not quite popular enough to spin out on its
Yeah,
own.
you kept
or-
thinking they would develop it into more of its own standalone thing.
I feel like right around the time they were kind of hitting that mark and those rumors were really starting to pick up steam was also the time when Call of Duty seemed to be starting to enter maybe its decline. So they probably got to a point where they're like, oh, we can't separate it because we want to keep these numbers up.
Yeah.
And in fact, like this game, this is the most Call of Duty they have put into a package.
just in terms of sheer content and modes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you go up to the $80 package, you then also get Modern Warfare Remastered.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which is the Call of Duty 4 campaign and the Call of Duty 4 multiplayer.
Is that the only extra thing you get for that extra $20?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that seems reasonable.
And then there's one more bump up from that that'll also get you the season pass.
and stuff. But $20 for all the everything Call of Duty 4.
Yeah,
Seems
it'd be
pretty
great if
reasonable.
you could just spend the $20 and get everything Call of Duty 4. but
Maybe they do that in 6 months.
probably,
or something.
probably. But again, I'm sure they want to get all their sales into main Call of Duty because they got to make it look strong.
Yeah.
It's the Roman Reigns of video games.
Right.
So they have put this package together that from a value perspective, it cannot be argued because there's just so fucking much, and all of it is at least like high budget and produced well. Whether you like it or not, I think is a very different thing. Like, because that's when I look at Infinite Warfare, I like one of its 3 prongs, and it happens to be the campaign this year, which it almost never is. It's usually the competitive multiplayer. But then you add in this other stuff. It's like, oh, the competitive multiplayer for Modern Warfare is also really cool. The campaign, but also that package is, I think, cooler in concept than it is in execution. When you put it out for real against more modern shooters and you look at the perk system and loadouts and all that other stuff, like I got to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to level up to like
don't
level
say this.
40 or something like that just to unlock like P90s and double tap and like the stuff that I would want in a loadout.
I mean, I haven't played that game since the year it came out, or that window, but I was just thinking like, it'd be great to do like just, it's back to basics. Like, let's just drill back down to what made Call of Duty 4 so awesome in the first place.
It's hard to go back to like,
it's not what I was expecting to hear.
I feel like if you... Like, it is a quality game. The shooting feels good. Like, the maps are great. Classics. Yeah. But the options feel way too limited compared to what you can do in a Call of Duty game right now.
Because, like, what was it?
Or most other competitive online shooters.
Like, you're unlocking guns and attachments.
Yep. It's one attachment per gun. It's one perk per category. And perk 1 is always, like, some kind of ordnance thing where it's like you can get more bullets or you can take an RPG to shoot down the helicopters.
Yeah, martyrdom.
You could use martyrdom.
Yeah, like the perks are mostly passive in that game, right?
Generally,
Like they hadn't started doing kill streaks at that point.
No, they hadn't.
Just the 3, right?
But it was just the 3. It was
3, 5, 7.
UAV at 3.
Oh, dogs.
Jet strike at 5. Helicopter at 7.
Dogs was World at War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Which that was great.
Yeah, I guess I can see how this would seem kind of stripped down.
Like, it's stripped down to its bare essentials, but it's hard to go back to something that stripped down. And they've actually added some things to it where it has, like, calling cards and emblems. Kill Confirmed is in this game, which Kill Confirmed didn't appear until Modern Warfare 3.
And that fits. I mean, that doesn't change the way the game is played. It's team deathmatch.
But also, like, that game is very presumptive about how much it thinks people are going to play this game, I think, because it has too many modes. People want to play team deathmatch, domination, and search and destroy. That's where the bulk of players are right now. If you go look the percentages, it'll show you. It doesn't show you the raw player count. And so adding all these different modes, at some point it's like, well, I want to do, like, I don't know, one of these other modes. I want to do headquarters. Like, oh, sorry, there was no one playing headquarters. So, like, to ship this day and date with a full Call of Duty game that also has its own playlist issues of like, hey, here's 20 things you can choose to play, to then go like, oh, you could play a totally different game with another 20 playlists. Like, they've split their player base so finely. It's crazy.
And there are a bunch of other shooters that just came out and they're being played heavily. So yeah, I'm sure it's split quite a bit amongst
it's a
those
weird
games.
year for that stuff.
You're talking about Call of Duty 4 in particular?
I'm talking about Call of Duty 4.
Because I assume that there's quite a few people that probably just bought the $60 version of Infinite Warfare. So
right,
I have to imagine the Modern Warfare
population
population is maybe not huge to begin with.
It's been hard to know where the population is because they don't surface a ton of the numbers. And playing Infinite Warfare, I've actually had cases where it'll launch, and I had this happen last night, so it's still happening. And I can't tell if it's necessarily a server issue or a player count issue, but I feel like games are launching before they're full. Because maybe there aren't a lot of players searching. Like, I'm not sure what the deal is there. It's probably server stuff because the game is still Call of Duty. It's still selling well enough to support those modes. But it's felt weird this week or so, or I guess actually more like 4 days. This weekend, where every time I tried, it seemed like games weren't filling up as fast as they normally do. There were just some stuff, but it's launch weekend. Maybe that's probably just server stuff. But with Modern Warfare Remastered, there were cases where I went to look for a match and just got nothing. Wow. So to have that many modes, and they're still hardcore and old school, like they've put all these options. You have like 60 different class or 50, 30, whatever it is, like way more class slots, loadout slots in Modern Warfare Remastered than you would ever need.
I just use one and keep altering that. Is that
that's how I've always done it.
Like Titanfall, I just have one thing that I keep altering.
It depends. Like, so there are cases like if you're playing like pilots versus pilots mode in Titanfall, then you wouldn't take an anti-Titan weapon.
Okay, that makes sense. I have not played that mode. I just do attrition all the time.
an objective mode in Call of Duty, there are often reasons to spec around a specific mode.
That makes sense. Or if you like sniping, but you also like light machine guns. Whereas I tend to just go
Or in
assault.
games, if you're trying to level up multiple things, so you can like, okay, this LMG will be good once I get this right attachment for it, but it's a hassle to use, so I only want to use it when I really feel like it, so I need to have my main class and this class I'm working on.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, yeah, there are definitely reasons to have multiple class slots. But Modern Warfare Remastered seems like it's built to be like this killing amazing game that is going to do gangbusters for generations, and I just don't think it's that anymore.
Is Shipment in it?
Yeah, Shipment's in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the tiny one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Crates with
Oh,
shotguns.
I want to play some of that.
Yeah, I'm happy to have played it, but like I came away from it after having kind of written the review and went like, I don't know how much more Modern Warfare Remastered I'm actually going to touch. Primarily because there's other games out there.
Sure.
I would probably play that multiplayer before I would play Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. But yeah, like also Titanfall still exists.
Yes.
So that is the game I would have rather have been playing rather than writing a review of Call of Duty. So that made that review take a little bit longer than I thought because I kept sitting there going,
What if you were climbing into a giant robot?
instead of slowly running on this wall. What
if you were
what is
quickly
going on? Yes.
running on a
What if
wall?
I was picking up momentum as I was wall running to actually make the mechanics fun to engage with instead of this like gung, 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 gung.
Speaking of the speed, Jeff, last week you told me to turn on stim and set up the grappling hook, and oh my god, thank you so much for telling me to do that.
Yeah,
it is so much better. You have so much more control over it. You heal.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the grappling hook is cool, but that, there's a grappling hook in Infinite Warfare that's actually pretty awesome too because you use it in zero gravity, and it just lets you be zero gravity Scorpion because you're just like looking at enemies and just hitting the button, and it's kind of lining up the shots for you, and he just pulls the guy over there, breaks their neck, knees them, like breaks their helmet so they die. Like,
you'll knee their faceplate and they just die in space. It's great.
There's a lot of oh shit, there's no oxygen out here throughout that campaign.
Oh, that's rough.
Where
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncomfortable fucking holy shit, there's no air here type moments in that game that you can tell they made it in a world after that the movie where all that shit
Gravity?
happens. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Gravity.
Mission to Mars.
Yes. Ghost of Mars. Mars Eternum. Yeah, so it's there's a lot to it, and I think a lot of it is well made. I think some of it, just the choices that they've made are like don't line up with a game that I want to play anymore. And I hope that Sledgehammer does a better job next year.
I mean, there's still hope for Sledgehammer. I was thinking, like, now that Infinity Ward and Treyarch are both making games with campaign, multiplayer, and zombies in it, that leaves no room for Spec Ops to ever come back.
Oh, God, man.
But
Spec Ops was so
Sledgehammer,
Oh, Spec Ops was...
guys,
But also,
do me a solid.
I think there's a bit of sales pressure that you might eventually see because I feel like all the moves they've made around Modern Warfare Remastered shows a slight. They're starting to look a little desperate to kind of cling on to their fan base. And that's not to say the game isn't selling; it's still selling better than most video games. But when you compare it to last year's game, like the UK first week sales came out and were not that great. That's not some end all be all or anything like that. Games continue to be on sale for months to come. But in a world where Call of Duty just seems like it's been becoming less relevant over time, I think you'll start to see them, like Modern Warfare Remastered is like them trying to row people in who thought the space stuff was a bridge too far. So,
and then ironically, it sounds like the space stuff is maybe the best thing in the package.
Yeah.
As maligned as the idea of Call of Duty in space was leading up to this, like to hear that the campaign is actually like
it's awesome.
The big draw.
It's really neat.
Yeah,
and it's neat because it is such a big break from the near future stuff they've been stuck in. Like they've always had this kind of one foot, and they still keep that foot there in terms of the dialogue, like in terms of it feeling very militaristic. In its kind of concepts and story and stuff like that, but. Like, you are warping around that solar system at an insane rate of speed. You are leading charges on the ground on multiple planets. Like, you're all over the place. And you're getting into your space jet fighter and launching from a planet and flying up into space.
Okay.
And like, there's
all right. There's still room for that.
And it looks cool.
That
and
idea
it's fun,
hasn't.
And you get up there and then fight. And then there's fighting up there too. Like there's some great transition moments like that along the way too. So I think like that stuff is in a sense, it's bold. In a sense, it's better than it has been. But I think a lot of the framework around it, a lot of the multiplayer, and a lot of the choices they made around that stuff drag that down to where it's an average package. Like there's a lot to it, and if it happens to click with you, I think there's a way to have a good time with it. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend people go out and buy it just for the campaign, because that's a big expense for what is still a 4 to 6 hour game.
Wow, really? Okay.
The side mission stuff doesn't necessarily make it that much longer.
They're quick missions, the side missions, and I do kind of like that. If you don't want to commit to like an hour-long story mission, you can just go in, fly around, shoot some spaceships, and be done in 15, 20 minutes.
I definitely felt like I wrapped up all the side missions earlier than I thought I was going to.
That's kind of what I've been doing too, because I want to get the perks for the main missions.
Yep. But there's a trophy for each one of those missions. So if you go to your achievement list and look, you'll know exactly how many of those you will see.
Gotta farm them trophy dogs.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and also in a world in a year where there are so many other quality shooters, whether it's campaign or multiplayer or both, Call of Duty needs to do better to keep its spot. And I think it'll still probably end up the sales leader when all is said and done.
Sure.
So say what you will, but it is not the number one shooter to play this year.
In your heart.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we made it. Speaking of, this is it for their great month of shooters.
Yeah,
one a week for the last month, and
right.
This is kind of the big one.
I kind of want to go back and play more Battlefield 1. It kind of pushed me away early on, just because it is such a different game than Titanfall, and I'm so into Titanfall right now. But Battlefield still does seem like a quality game. It's just not one I want to make time for right now.
Yeah.
Do you think Call of Duty does a hard reset on their setting like Battlefield did?
That's the
I'd
big
be up for
question.
that.
What do they do
next
next?
year, right?
I don't know.
Do they keep going
Primal.
with the space thing?
So I would love to see Call of Duty, but the final countdown, that movie where in modern aircraft carrier goes back to
alternate
Pearl Harbor.
history, counterfactual kind of stuff.
I want modern.
All right.
Modern soldier guy going through time.
It's called Darkest of Days.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
It's
listening.
available now on Steam.
Can we get some dinosaurs in there?
Sure.
Okay.
Bring them on.
I think that would be a really cool. And obviously games have tried to do that before, but something with a budget, something with some quality behind it.
Yeah.
That would be
and then
cool.
A third of the way through, you lose your gun. So now you are a modern soldier with that training, but you have to make do with what you can find.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just bring it up now. I'm 2/3 of the way through the Titanfall campaign. Speaking of campaigns that do weird shit, take
I'm
some
about
risks.
halfway. Yeah.
I wasn't sold on that thing for the first 2 or 3 missions. I kept going
Same here.
I was like, when is shit gonna pop off after all the stuff you guys had said?
Yep.
Well, because it feels like an obstacle course. Because the first couple of missions, I was like, okay, they're just leaning hard on the wall running, and they're doing this thing where I have to run up this moving deal. It's I thought it was going to be a tutorial, basically.
Yeah,
here's how to wall run and all that.
3 missions in, it's okay, this is a pretty standard Call of Duty style, infantry style shooter campaign with a little bit of wall running and a giant robot.
Yeah.
And then I got to that factory.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's when things was okay, all right, there's some weird ideas in here. And then I got to the next level, and that button prompt showed up.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet.
And then I was like, okay, this thing is strange.
Okay.
It's awesome.
And
And there's boss fights.
And it's still a pretty new game, so I won't. And you're not even to where I'm at yet.
Yeah.
So I won't get into it. I hate to say it feels a little low budget because that sounds more negative than I mean, but there are some rough edges on that thing that I am guessing don't exist in the Call of Duty campaign.
I mean, just look at the casting. Look at the quality of facial animations and stuff like that in a game like Call of Duty.
So I've had just character animations just sort of bug out in front of me. I've had the wall run broke on me in one of the extended wall running sequences at one point. I was having a thing where just about every other wall run I would do, when I jumped off, it would automatically pop my double jump as I came off the wall.
Oh.
So I could never get the height to make it across.
Huh.
I probably should have quit and restarted the game, but I failed that thing 6 times in a row because my double jump kept breaking.
Yeah, that's weird. Is it your controller, you think? Or
No, it was I would hear as I
would hear it go
because it makes the that really good thud sound when you get the second jump. It would make that sound as soon as I came off the wall off of one button press. It was probably just a bug. I should have restarted. That's some weird sound issues and stuff. It's nothing game breaking.
Yeah.
But it's the game's spunky.
Yes.
It's a little more rough than you would expect out of a Call of Duty style campaign, but it's got heart and
it's
takes
doing its own thing.
Takes some weird risks. And
I think that makes up for some of the
Yeah.
edges around the production.
Yeah.
I didn't run into bugs like that But there's definitely like
it was one thing. I mean, it's not the end of the
I think the
world.
voice acting's fine in that game.
Yeah,
Actually, I think
yeah.
the performances are pretty okay
Yeah.
for what they're going for.
The main character, the robot, the
BT.
like the mercenaries, like the kind of
right.
rogues gallery of bad guys, like those are all fine. Like some of the ambient dialogue off your soldiers as you meet them is a little like
they're a little.
But whatever, none of that is like it's all fine.
It's
because
a game
the
where
game,
they're naming a character Richter and
Right.
having all that dumb shit. Like they're I feel like they get away with they pull off what they're going for.
and
more often than not,
the
that
areas where it's weak are totally forgivable because it does like some interesting stuff. That again we can't quite get into yet. Maybe next week, maybe the week after.
Yeah,
as more people have
the
time
back
to
third of the
finish it.
campaign, I think is
and
it goes places.
And I'm like having there's like been two.
That's not even the thing we were talking about that first time we were talking about fucking some cool shit in that game too. So.
Having seen what I've seen, I sort of have an idea of where it might be going.
We'll
see. But that thing does go places. You kind of have to stick with it for a couple missions. Before the wild stuff pops off.
But that multiplayer is a great time.
And
I'm
super looking forward to that.
I still keep playing that.
Is it? I think I mentioned this on UPF, but is it dumb to not play the multiplayer until I finish the campaign?
No, that's totally fine. I did that.
That's how I do
that.
I kind of want to see all the like Titan loadouts and stuff in the context of the story. Before
that actually was very effective because I'd play. They put out that multiplayer tech test,
Mm-hmm.
and they're giving you access to I think 3 of the Titans at that point, and the abilities just didn't click with me in that thing. Like I just wasn't really sure. Like, okay, what's Scorch even do? Like with this fire stuff. Like, but having time to use every loadout in the campaign actually kind of gave me some context for those abilities.
Yeah,
that made me better. That also made me a tone player at some point. I'm like, oh, well, what am I doing?
Definitely the best.
I think if I've gotten Tone. What's Tone's like main?
Tone is the second one you get.
Okay,
it's the
yeah,
lock
yeah. Drop
on. It's the
shield.
one. Where
Okay, that's probably the
It's
one.
got the salvo core, which is great.
Yeah.
I still just fall back on what is it? Expedition, the first one.
Yeah.
That one's good meat and potatoes.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're all fun.
Shooter class, but and those little boss fights like drop you into situations where you can kind of get a feel for all those abilities.
Right. It's neat.
That stuff's cool.
But yeah, it's Call of Duty is just a weird thing. There's so much of it, and it's undeniable because of how much it is and how like well produced a lot of it is. But like a lot of it just feels very flat,
Safe,
passionless.
stay on the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to. Yeah, like I said, I found it to be boring, and I didn't expect that. It's weird. It's got all these different like combat rigs where you're kind of picking the look of your character, but every single one of them just is another faceless, lifeless husk that you run around and shoot with. Like there's cosmetics that you eventually unlock and stuff like that maybe changes that up. But like one of them's a robot, but even the humans don't seem like they have any more life in them. It's a shame.
Yeah. When do they announce those at this point? Like around E3 time, isn't it usually?
I
Like
think
kind of
that's
shortly
kind of
before E3, they'll do like an unveil, and then like
they'll have like their like. Do they still do it like the basketball finals? And they'll be like, or during the playoffs, they'll show something or whatever. But I feel like they've maybe shown it a little bit earlier in the past.
I'm super curious to know what Sledgehammer's going to do.
Yeah,
because their last one was quite good.
Yeah.
And that series is at a point where they kind of need to pivot.
I feel like they do, and we'll see. I feel like that's the thing, right? With the multiple studios working the franchise at this point, it's almost like you have to go 3 in a row with it kind of not changing and not kind of like being as good as it can be before you go like, all right, maybe this thing's done. And they've had 2 now, so it's kind of up to Sledgehammer, as far as I'm concerned, to kind of keep me interested in this franchise. Yeah. So all
right. That's a lot of Call of Duty.
There's a lot
we have bitten off.
I know. There's so much.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. Roll that around in our heads. We'll be right back.
It's hard to stay safe these days.
I feel horribly insecure when I go outside the house.
If you're looking for security, why not start with your computer?
Oh yeah, well the computer is where I go to feel safe.
Exactly. That's where your data lives.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that extra secure from hackers, malware enthusiasts.
What do hackers want with my stuff?
What do they want with your stuff? Yeah. What don't they want with your stuff?
So what? Wait, they just want to get it and then figure that out later?
They're going to get it and then never forget it. That's why you need Avast.
Oh yeah? What could they do for me?
Avast is a global leader in digital security. They'll protect you online against cyber threats.
I need to secure my digits.
That's right. Keep those digits locked the heck down.
And cyber safe.
Yes, 400 million people trust Avast.
That's
a lot of people.
That's like every person that's ever lived.
It says right here, actually, more than 400 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? Right?
That's an incomprehensible number
I know.
of people.
I have not met that many people.
I certainly don't know that many.
There's a special game mode in there that'll disable notifications and stuff like that, and it's low on the CPU cycles while it's running.
I like to play video games.
So okay, well then maybe this would work out for you then.
And I'm usually afraid to run things in the background.
Exactly.
But maybe not anymore.
Well, if you've got a mobile phone, a laptop, or a Mac, and you want to, as well as a desktop, of course, and you want to stay safe from cyber thieves,
I have all of the above.
well, then you should head over to avast.com, avast.com, and get more details. Okay, all right.
All right, that's our weekly Call of Duty report.
I feel like that's going to be our last weekly Call of Duty report
Yes.
for
Probably.
9 or 10 months or so.
Annual Call of Duty report.
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah.
What's everybody else been doing? You guys been
Brad.
having fun? Yeah.
Brad, I did a thing.
What'd you do?
I released a book.
Oh God.
Why would you do that?
God
It's
help
been
us.
5 months, and it's been a lot of work, but it's done, and I'm very happy.
You continue inflicting this.
All right, we're going to let you mention the book once.
Okay.
And only
You have-
once.
okay,
on
the
this
title?
podcast.
The title?
You have 30 seconds.
I paid for my ad time
No,
here.
you did not.
30
Seconds. Nope, you didn't.
It is called The Dumbest Kid in Gifted Class. It is on Amazon. It's available on Kindle now. It will be available in paperback in the next couple days. It's basically a collection of stories, if you've heard me on this podcast or even before that, stories from my life. I've had kind of a weird life upbringing in Kansas and everything. It's a collection of that, like a David Sedaris book, out of chronological order. Lots of really weird things, kind of explains a lot.
Is that on the back cover? Does it say like a David Sedaris book?
It does, basically. Like, I didn't know that was an option for a way to make a book. And
Yeah.
then Bianca showed me one. I was like, oh, I can make it out of chronological order? Great. And so I just
So much easier.
I tell a ton of stories that basically explain a lot of how I got to be this way.
right.
It is very light on
Oh, so
video
it's-
games and wrestling.
So it's a public service, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yes. It's light on video games and wrestling. It's about going to Catholic school.
It's a
Being
cautionary tale, really.
yeah. But yeah, it's on Amazon now.
How do you do that? How do you look at your own life in that sort of perspective?
So I've always been meticulous about photos and notes and journals and all that stuff. And I keep keepsakes like crazy. And I reached out to all the people involved in all these stories. And I said, hey, what was your memory of this fucking weird thing that happened?
So heavily,
and they'll tell
heavily
me.
researched is what you're saying.
Actually, yeah. And I had some like real deal proofreaders. So it's actually the most like professional, like biggest book I've done by far. Like 84,000 words. It's
Does poop in a Pringles can make it?
that is actually mentioned. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. That
all
is there's some college dorm stories in there.
Well, all right then.
All right.
But that's that. I won't shill too long on here, but
This book is not endorsed by the Giant Bombcast
Absolutely
or,
not.
or
Right,
the,
not-
or the
not at all.
Columbia Broadcasting System.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
System. Yeah.
But I also played a bunch of Gears of War and
Okay.
Infinite Warfare
Yeah.
and mostly Titanfall.
So shooters.
Yeah. I've been shooting a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else is new to say about Titanfall other than everything Jeff has already said and gushed about it. It's just so much fun. I've been playing with the Giant Bomb community mostly.
Yeah.
Just doing that network thing, and it's so easy. I can usually fill up most of a party.
I joined the Giant Bomb Network and someone immediately started talking to me and it scared me.
Yeah, the voice chat stuff's kind of neat and kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Can you opt out of that stuff?
You can mute the voice chat, or you can set a different active network to
Okay.
a private one,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've missed happy hour the past few days because I've been working on Call of Duty stuff, and it's just like, ugh.
I
Is
got
that
it for
just-
the first time yesterday. I'm always like, every time I log on, it's like 23 hours until happy hour.
yeah.
Is that just
What's happy
bonus
hour?
XP?
I can set that time.
Yeah, what's
you-
the bonus to happy hour?
So if you play a match during happy hour, you get 5 extra merits, which is like what they've replaced XP
Yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah.
Which is a lot. That's substantial.
Yeah, that's like half a level.
just for free? Like,
Yeah.
Just for playing a match during that time
Yeah.
period.
wow.
What a great idea.
Yeah,
It's cool.
It's,
Like
yeah.
it kind of gets it unites a player base in a way.
Yeah.
It's a smart.
It's
move.
a good way to. Is it the same time every day?
You as the network admin, I can set it to
Oh.
whatever hour I want it to
Fuck,
be.
But it's the same
awesome.
for everyone
Yes,
around the world.
yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
it should be in
What did
Swatch
you
Internet
say?
time.
right now. So I don't think. So we went through the time change over the
Yeah.
weekend, and
That's why it changed. Because it used to be
and so
7, right?
It used to be 5, and
Oh,
now I
okay.
think it's 4 p.m. Pacific.
I thought I played at 6 yesterday.
Jeff, we're still
Oh,
at work
you're playing on
then.
Xbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should-
that's
Okay,
right.
so the
Set it to,
Xbox
like-
one is set an hour later.
just set it to like 8.
So my thought was like I would have all 3 networks be an hour apart, so you could just play all 3. But I don't know.
Set PS4 to like 8, so we'll all be home.
Yeah.
when it happens.
Yeah, that's probably where I'll set it. I asked on our message boards for if people had suggestions about when it should be, and I didn't see a firm response to that. So
Speaking of getting merits, I bought a lot of Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Yeah,
over the weekend.
I
what'd you get?
also entered.
I
like
got a bunch of
12
codes.
12 codes over the weekend.
Yeah,
Shamefully,
it's
I've
dark.
been. You've been in the Coliseum.
no. Well, I haven't done any of the multiplayer stuff yet. What is the Coliseum?
It's Rocket Arena.
Oh, right.
It's
Yes.
the
Okay.
thing where it's like you're
Okay.
kind of just shooting these slow moving plasma balls at
Yeah.
the feet of another guy as he jumps around.
What? And you can't alter your weapon or that
No,
perk or
you
anything.
can't change
Everyone's got
no,
the exact
exactly.
same thing.
It's a fixed loadout.
Dude.
But
So
you
wait,
level
in
up
there,
that gun.
It is a circle-based arena. So, but you have like a phase shift ability that is like a late unlock in multiplayer. But here you just get it, and you can kind of phase into a alternate dimension for a few seconds, and then pop out the other side behind somebody theoretically and get them.
Does that have its own leveling path, or does that feed back into the standard competitive
Feeds back into the standard
multiplayer?
stuff.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
level up that gun as you use it
do,
and get kills with it.
But you can't equip any of the
Right.
stuff for that mode because the loadout is set. But you do level up that gun, so you could use that gun in other multiplayer settings and unlock the attachments and shit like that.
Wait, so you have to spend a ticket to go in there?
Yeah.
That's what you're getting out of those Mountain Dew codes?
Yeah.
That's
What's one
Is
of
that
the things you get. You get double XP, which is a button press at the start of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
match
yeah,
to
yeah.
activate it. But
But,
you
but
also-
is there no other way to get into the Coliseum?
So you earn a currency as you
Oh,
play,
okay,
and
so
you
you
can
can buy
spend,
tickets that
you can
way.
buy tickets that
Okay.
way as well.
So is there any way to buy anything with real money in this game?
No.
That's cool.
Not-
When you first said
not
you had
yet,
to buy
not
your way
yet,
in.
not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I have to imagine that's coming because the map packs are going to be free,
Right.
or the maps are going to be
Huh.
free, maybe
We'll see.
individually.
We'll see what they do with it.
Surely
it's-
they have to make money off of it on an
Buy
ongoing
Doritos is
basis
real money.
somehow.
you can, and the prices, like the price to skin, the price to double XP ratio has been unfavorable when you look at it that way. But 2 liters were on sale for 99 cents, and there was a moment where I thought about buying a lot of them and then just throwing the soda away, and I'm like, that's a thing a crazy person would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
do
good soda.
that.
I
Don't
bought-
do that.
I bought
That's
two.
the thing a dedicated Titanfall player.
I don't
do.
need that much. I don't need that much double XP because I'm already like level 35, and I just want to get to 50 and regen once, and then unlock stuff again or something at whatever pace it takes. Like I'm not.
So I've unlocked like the Ronin Safar, the Target skin. What else do I need? Like the
You get Buffalo Wild Wings?
Did I go to Buffalo Wild Wings?
You get Buffalo Wild Wings skins.
There's an Ion nose art that you get there.
I saw the.
I got the
art.
Target thing yesterday. It is probably of the options you have in that game of fucking dark retail roads to go down. God damn it! Don't do this. Which camera? Don't do this.
No, you should.
It's
You
terrible.
get delicious
No, it's
products and you
terrible.
level up faster.
Don't fucking do this.
It's a good thing to do. It's
Diet,
win-win.
Diet Mountain Dew is a bad diet soda.
Are you kidding
It still
me?
has calories in it.
terrible.
It's full of fucking
It's got
garbage.
I think it has 10 calories per bottle. I think the cans don't have any.
Also,
calories
I
in
could
them.
only find codes in regular Mountain Dew. I couldn't even find it in the diet.
The
So
Target
I-
codes were only on regular Mountain Dew
Yeah.
for me, and I bought a 6-pack of those yesterday. Put the code in, poured the soda out to get at the code.
I walked.
That I can support.
And I think I'm going to take these 5 bottles and bring them in and leave them in our kitchen.
Yeah.
And just let them go because I don't want to drink regular Mountain Dew.
I walked to 7-Eleven to get Mountain Dew and Doritos over the weekend.
I hate that we're even talking
And-
about this.
we
this
should
much. I
stop.
hate that
You know
we're
what?
saying the
Fucking
names
stop.
of
They didn't have
fucking
it.
Stop
brands.
talking about this. It's bad.
I'm wearing
I'm thumbs
Uniqlo
up.
jeans.
I'm thumbs up on it, 100%.
It's terrible.
Are you wearing Uniqlo jeans?
I am.
Okay.
I am too,
All right.
Wow.
and underwear.
Man,
Me too.
very stylish.
It's pretty
I'm impressed.
Well, all right.
I Amazon Prime Now'd. I made a
Sure,
delivery
that's a verb.
and ordered 12 packs of Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh, we're
and
done.
2
We're done
liters.
talking about this.
They didn't have
Stop
it. I got
talking about
screwed.
this. We are not giving them any more lip
Yeah,
service.
You fucked up.
Oh.
That's your own fault for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the last thing I'll say about this is that the camo you unlock with the Target code is applicable to every single weapon, Titan, and pilot. And it is
Oh.
this
Oh, that's
bright,
cool.
bright red dumb thing.
Okay.
And so, of the items you can get, it is the one that applies to any loadout
the most.
So it is
Yeah.
it is by default the best.
Yeah. I have to assume cosmetics are coming because they've clearly put thought into this stuff. You know, like
Well, there
with
are
the-
tons of unlockable camos
Right.
in that game already.
There's that
through-
stuff. There's like the weapons with the little kill count tags on them and
Yeah,
stuff like
the
that.
pro
Right.
screen.
Like they've clearly been thinking about how to
Right.
potentially maybe how to sell this stuff.
Yeah, we'll see where they go with it. I suspect. I wonder if the EA plan for this is to just fund this game as a distraction for Call of Duty.
Wow.
And just
Just
go
make it
like
a loss leader?
and yeah, and just say like fuck it, like no, we're
Huh.
totally not going to monetize
Yeah.
Titanfall 2.
Huh.
we are just going to get it out there and run, in a year where Call of Duty is weak, we are going to run it as the alternate to Battlefield and then hope that we do as much damage as possible to Call of Duty.
Hey, you could very well be right.
And when they roll back around for Titanfall 3, which EA already got out there and said, like, hey, this is a long-term franchise for us, don't fucking worry about it, because player counts have not been super high, especially on PC. You have to wonder if they're just going to go all in and just go like, no, you won't buy anything at all.
When did the first one come out? 2014?
That's
early
Titanfall?
That sounds
2014?
Right. That sounds right.
Yeah,
is that right?
It would have been early if it was.
So they were
it was like a March release.
2.5 years between games.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I know that there's some stuff that they're working on. So they are continuing. It looks like they will continue to support the game with new stuff, as well as maps and all that other stuff. So
they're working on another game, Star Wars game.
Yes,
they have a Star Wars game.
Yeah. That's the Stig one, right?
Yeah.
The what?
Yes,
Stig
the Stig. Yes, the Stig.
The
Stig.
The God of War
is
3
working on
guy.
the Star
I
Wars
see.
game.
Yes.
Yeah. I played a couple missions of Battlefield campaign, and it seems totally fine. Like, everything looks great, and it plays fine. But it seemed like just one of those campaigns. And in a year where, like, even Infinite Warfare is doing some interesting stuff with the campaign, and Titanfall's campaign is kind of wacky and weird in ways that I really like, I don't think I have the patience this year for, like, just a pretty good one of those old types of campaigns.
My understanding from talking to people who have played it to completion is that the campaign is very much a tutorial for the multiplayer. It's just like, here's how to fly stuff, here's how to be in a tank. Like, they're vignettes that are built around teaching you a thing about playing Battlefield.
That makes me way less interested because I don't see myself playing multiplayer.
But I've also heard that it's good.
It was, the couple missions I played were fine.
So yeah.
But it's not doing anything new at all.
How does
I saw.
How does it look?
Great.
It was great. Yeah.
My dad likes to check in on the state of military shooters every year or two, and I figured like maybe that's the one to show him.
Oh yeah,
Just in terms of like, hey, look how real it looks now.
Think about how good Battlefront looked last year.
I actually showed him Battlefront last year, even though he doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars.
Like this is that tech, but like 1 year later,
and in a historical setting,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
And so it is a better looking game, you know, and I mean obviously on PC that thing fucking hums, man. It looks so good.
Yeah.
But the console versions, I guess I've only seen it on PS4. And I've not seen it on a PS4 Pro. But even on PS4, I think it still looks good. You'll notice some like level of detail stuff that's different from the PC, but like, of course you're going to notice that.
Do you want to talk about the Pro now?
Sure.
I had one story in news about it, but
it's out.
We've got one in
I'm
here.
sorry, it's not out. It'll be out. Thursday.
Oh, is it Thursday?
Yeah,
the
10th.
I thought it was today.
Yeah.
We've got one in here. You've been messing with it.
Yeah, though I was using it to review Call of Duty.
Right.
Like I wasn't necessarily like putting it through its paces with every single game because it's got. I brought in Ratchet today and finally booted that up. And also we don't have a 4K TV here.
Yeah, so we've got one of those.
All
on the
those
way.
caveats in mind. Yeah,
should be
it's
here
on the
soon,
way.
right?
Should be here soon.
Cool.
With that in mind, Ratchet has been the only game that I've looked at and went like, oh, okay. But Ratchet also already looked really great, so I kind of want to side-by-side it with a regular PS4 to see if it's a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
But it's a damn good-looking game.
Sure.
And those edges in the distance and stuff like that are hyper-sharp and not aliased, and it's a nice fucking-looking game.
And that's playing at like 1080p.
Yeah, that's a 1080.
With the Pro and
with
the
a Pro
enhancements.
So, yeah.
So what's the status of patches for games like
right.
Infamous and
Glad you
Last
asked.
of
Back
Us?
open your laptop
Okay,
because
all right.
this is the actual list here.
GameSpot has been running a good story that they have been just updating.
And I think the Sony Europe blog finally put out a list of like 40+ games that's just like, here it is.
Yeah. So I won't drill down into this, but this GameSpot story, they've got actual details on each game, like specifically what they're doing in terms of textures and resolutions and blah blah blah. But let's see. Let me just rattle some off.
Sure.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Fallout 4.
And this just means any upgrade.
Yeah,
is-
it's something.
Something
It supports
happens.
the Pro. They've patched it in.
Yeah. Hitman.
Yeah.
The stuff for Hitman sounds like it'll be potentially good.
Yes,
That was a game that you said had some performance stuff on PS4.
It's not
major
great.
loading
It's not.
issues.
Well, the load times are not good on console, but yeah,
Will that
it's-
be affected by the Pro?
Nah, probably
It's
not. I mean,
potentially could be because
it's got
SATA
these are
3.
SATA
they moved to
3,
SATA 3, but then I was watching an analysis over the weekend that said there are enough other bottlenecks that it won't probably won't make a huge
I will
difference.
say though, I'm pretty sure that the library Like if you go to your list of all your owned games, you know, you can, if you hold down, it'll scroll faster than it can draw the names and icons.
Way
on the screen,
faster.
and you let off, and it takes a while to pop in.
Yeah.
On the Pro, it seems like that stuff pops in a little faster.
Ooh,
So-
okay. That's a selling point.
So watching that, I hated myself. Like watching you do that,
Yeah,
made me
I
want to get
watched
one
you
of
go
those
like,
things.
oh, and I was like, fuck, man, we're idiots.
Hang on, if I took out the because I'm gonna get the Pro, if I took out the 1 terabyte hard drive that was in there, and I put in just like the 2 terabyte that I bought a while ago for my PS4, would that be downgrading it if this is using a different type of hard drive? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it depends on what that
your
hard drive is.
Okay, I should look into that. 'Cause
Yeah.
my plan was to
It uses a slightly faster interconnect than the regular PS4 does, but
interconnect, but
like,
not
just
hard drive.
The
That's a
interface,
different
like
thing.
the thing it plugs into, is a little bit faster.
Not the
but
hard drive itself.
But the hard drive depends on what that hard drive supports.
It's the one you told me to buy.
Is it? I'd have to look it up. I don't know if that thing is a SATA 2 or SATA 3.
Things have
but
changed. So
Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
Theoretically, well, I guess I don't know. Maybe you read more reports than I did, but it seems like theoretically you would see a benefit from an SSD, which you saw one before, but not the full benefits of an
That's
SSD.
the thing.
This seems like it's a little bit closer. But
there's
it's
always
still not.
been a benefit. It's just you really want to pay that much more for an SSD
Right.
when you're shaving, a handful of seconds off, versus just getting a lot of storage.
Right.
The Infamous games have gotten upgrades.
I'm especially excited about that because I'd never finished Second Son.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this
I
might
mean,
be
that was an
very-
awesome looking PS4 game.
Yeah,
Like,
it was really
like
good.
that was one of the first ones that you looked at when like, holy shit,
yeah.
like this console is fucking powerful.
Great
Do you know if
looking
it's going to
game.
run
I
at
just-
like 60 with the
let
PS4
me-
upgrade?
Let me scroll back up and try to find that.
Probably not.
I have lost it on this list already.
I bet it's just
Is
gonna
it just
be-
Rainier?
It was individual fingers before, but now it's you'll have
damn.
10
Yeah,
fingers
this
somehow.
this just says support for HDR and 4K.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
not much there. It's funny how granular some of these developers are getting with this stuff, though.
I think you have to because I think the benefits are
Yeah.
so esoteric in some cases. So like I played Call of Duty on both. Like I was playing it at home on my regular PS4, and then as part of the review, I was playing it in here on the Pro. I didn't notice a difference at all.
Yeah.
At 1080 on both, like I didn't notice anything.
It's been
Titanfall as well. Like
Yeah.
it's that's a game that's using dynamic resolution.
right.
So it'll scale up and down depending on the scene to kind of maintain its frame rate.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it would have to scale down less on a Pro, but I didn't notice it. In fact, yeah.
It's been kind of unfortunate timing for Sony because a lot of the big games that are out right now are shooters that already run at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
On the old PS4, so like putting those side by side, like a lot of people are just going to see it equally smooth on both. And,
I
like,
think it's one of those
it doesn't-
cases where if you look at still images from both, you're going to see image quality
Oh, sure.
differences and go,
Sure.
oh,
Yeah.
but in practice, it hasn't been a factor.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And again, like that's a situation where on a 4K screen, maybe that's going to show a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than it does at 1080.
I'm
One would hope.
fucking getting the itch for that thing, and it's stupid because I'm not getting a 4K TV for a while. But
They're starting to get good. The 4K TVs.
Oh, I
are
know
starting
that,
to,
yeah,
like
like, I'll
latency
probably-
is in line in a lot of cases.
yeah.
Like there are some TVs out there that support HDR, the right kind of HDR, and are 4K that have a low enough input lag to be.
Sure. I'm again waiting on OLED to get not insanely expensive. Let's see.
What price range are you looking at? Like how much money? How much money are you looking to spend on a TV today, sir?
Let's say like 2K or less.
Okay.
Oh,
2K for 4K?
2K is probably as high as I would want to go.
like
but
5 or 6 now, right?
Ideally more like
No,
$1,500.
there's a good $3,000 TV.
Really?
That seems
What
like it's
brand?
reviewing.
LG
It's
has had some out this year.
Yeah,
around-
there's an
around
LG
of-
that's out this year that like
I think it's
looking at some of the ratings that are rtings.com. They're doing
yeah.
reviews that are taking some of that stuff into
Yeah.
account. Like I've seen some sets on there that look like they're latency appropriate for gaming with the HDR stuff on with
Wow.
At 4K, all that other stuff.
But I think
Like,
their 55-inch model is 3,000. So like
Wow.
like if you want to go any bigger than that, it's going to be a lot more. Like
Right.
it's still very rough right now. But you could get a
55
good
is
you could
good.
get a good like LCD 4K TV for way cheaper than that.
Right.
I've seen a lot of people getting there's a Vizio, I want
Yeah.
to say like 55 or 60 inch for under $1,000 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
That
you
seems
can get 4K for
reasonable.
way cheaper. It's just
Yeah.
if you also want the OLED and like if I'm gonna buy a TV, I want to get one that I can keep for a good long time. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to hold out.
tend to agree that's probably where I'm going to end up going when I do finally make that jump.
I also want to give a shout out to like displaylag.com.
Yeah.
Check that site out for like a latency for
Yeah.
for input stuff.
I am holding off.
My concern though is I wonder if they have taken HDR into account for their latency, or like if they're just because there are a lot of game modes that don't enable HDR right now.
Yeah, very true.
So,
Yeah. So
like-
you
like
can get a
it's-
completely different result if
Yeah.
you've got that
So
game
like
stuff on.
that stuff is mucking up things even further right now.
Totally.
So
I'm holding off on watching Planet Earth 2 until I get my
Ooh.
OLED, and that's going to be the first thing I watch on that TV, and I can't wait.
Man, there was a clip from Planet Earth
Yes,
2
the
going
snake,
around
the
on
snakes.
and the lizard.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm watching all of the original
Oh
one
my
again now.
God.
I've seen it all like 4 times.
I need
It's
to-
the best show.
that fuck
That
man.
snake thing,
that
man.
video. Wow.
I gotta
Something
see
else.
That
snake
lizard
thing.
should have just stayed cool.
Something else, man. I don't know what else to say about that thing. Like it
Yeah,
feels like it's just going to
it's-
take some time for more games to start supporting it
yes,
before there's a lot to say about it.
You know, I think like I would feel comfortable saying if you don't own a PlayStation 4 and you care about owning the best possible PlayStation 4, then that's a model to get.
Yeah.
If
I
you're
would
not,
agree
if you're
with
not
that.
super price conscious, you know their new Slim is priced well. I think
There's some crazy deals going around on that thing. Like
yeah.
there was a bundle on Friday that's the Uncharted 4 Slim
Mhm.
with Infinite Warfare for $299.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's just like that's hard to turn down. But
Yeah, but that's I feel like if you are power conscious in any way, but you're not going crazy on a PC for whatever reason, you know, why not get the one that's a little bit better?
Yeah.
But so far, it seems like it is a little bit better,
Yeah.
and having seen some other games running in 4K elsewhere, like seeing what that thing spits out, like it just doesn't seem like a huge deal right now. Nice to have. But
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend that people go out and throw their existing PlayStation
Yeah.
4 in the garbage.
Yeah, if you're
and
happy
buy a
with
new one,
the PS4 you have, you're probably fine
yeah.
for a little bit. But man, what if Hitman looked better?
What if Hitman looked better?
Oh, what if I
Yeah.
played so much Hitman this weekend?
Having a good time?
Fuck.
How is that game?
Hitman's a very good video game.
Yeah,
It turns out we finished that last map last week, and then I somehow felt liberated to actually start playing that game for real.
Like actual stealth and everything?
Yeah, I spent Saturday afternoon getting my Paris mastery up to level 20.
How many cans of spaghetti did you throw?
None.
No?
Because it turns out that game is a really good stealth game, and if you actually take the time to learn to play it well, you can do some really awesome stuff.
That's not what Hitman's about.
Like, I got better at Hitman in that one afternoon than the entire preceding fucking 9 months of us
So
playing.
describe for me how it could be better than throwing a can of spaghetti
Well-
at someone to kill them. Like this is the part where
Let's
it's
say
breaking
it
for me.
gets a little more precise, let's say.
Yeah, okay.
Like
All
Vinny
right.
throwing a fire extinguisher at a guy's head.
Like
sounds good.
Like literally in that one sitting, I finally like grasped all the mechanics of like, okay, who can see what, and what does a new disguise allow me to do, and like what does compromise mean, and how Dyer is hunted actually. Just like across the board, it's like, okay, I actually understand Hitman now.
We did the
Just because
fire
I-
All right, now
one.
go back to episode 1 and start over.
I am actually totally working my way through it again and doing like a bunch of stuff I missed. Like there's a lot of content in there.
I re-downloaded it on the PC, so I think I am gonna maybe start that game relatively
That's
soon.
the version to play if you
Yeah.
haven't already if you're not already locked into progression on a save on a certain platform.
It looks
that
pretty
one.
great. Yeah.
The load, like I said, the load times are really rough on console.
We finished Hokkaido, and Brad finished things in the best possible way. I
Ah
think.
man, that was a good ending for that map for
Yeah,
sure.
that's a great way to do that.
Not to cannibalize all of the news up front here, but we should just talk about Hitman Season 2
Yes,
because that got confirmed
yes.
coming out of was it Paris Games Week that just happened?
Did it? Shit, man. I
So
don't know.
an interview happened in French.
Okay.
Is all I know with IO, and in that interview, Season 2 was confirmed, and they nailed down a bunch of details. And it basically sounds like they're doing Season 2 exactly the way they should, which is to just bolt it all onto Season 1. Like,
Great.
Same launcher, it's just going to be a game called Hitman.
Great.
They're going to add a bunch of new locations, a bunch of new missions. All your stuff from Season 1 will carry over, like all the items you've unlocked and everything will be there for use in Season 2.
So your world of assassination will
Yes.
continue to
Yes,
expand.
The world of assassination will, yeah, absolutely. Sounds like they're talking about, this is weird, but they're talking about potentially going back to previous locations with new maps.
Okay.
Like they could maybe go back to Paris with another map in Paris if they
Oh.
want.
Like just a separate
Like
part
they're,
of Paris.
they're like leaving that idea open.
That seems smart. Like use
Yeah.
the same assets and just create a different area.
I don't know. If I'm paying for a full season, I want a full season's worth of work in it. and seeing them reuse assets might be.
Yeah,
much-
well,
how
this
much
has a
is the
new
season?
this has a
I
new
guess that-
location.
yeah,
they
that-
haven't said
yeah.
any of that stuff yet.
I mean, when they reused the Sapienza map for that movie shoot one,
Yeah.
like it's almost indistinguishable. Like you can't really see the old Sapienza. There's nothing in the mansion. It was a totally different like courtyard area. Like they didn't half-ass it by any means.
Well, so most of these details are coming through Google Translate, so like
Yeah,
open
yeah.
to interpretation. But the sound of this doesn't mean they're going back to existing maps, but like existing like cities or countries.
Right.
So like there could be another.
But they've made
Japan
a whole
map.
bunch of Paris textures, right?
Yeah, well, it's all kind of contained in this one mansion, so
So a lot of
Oh,
stuff
that one
wouldn't necessarily
specifically.
so
apply.
it would probably have to be a pretty different thing.
I just at that point, like I guess, like unless they've got a good story reason to do that, like yeah, sure they could do that. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter necessarily. That's like saying like, oh, Destiny 2 will probably have another location on Earth.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, all that stuff sounds incredible.
Yep.
They say that like more of the free content, like elusive targets and escalations, will continue coming to season 1 maps even after season 2 has started. So, like if you just
Wow.
bought that season 1, you will continue to get new stuff to do.
Neat.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. The game's really good.
Mhm.
Again, like I'm excited to see that this worked. That this like did something with this franchise that was unexpected and paid off and made the game, like the way they're rolling that game out made the game better.
Totally.
I think it's the best Hitman game.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that. Yeah, I think people generally feel like it's surpassed Blood Money at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh, totally.
And especially after Absolution was such a disappointment to so many people. Like
Yep.
this just return to form is pretty awesome to see. Anyway, I guess that's it for PS4 Pro. There's not much else to say there until we get a 4K TV, and,
Right,
and
yeah.
some more games come out,
And then
stuff.
we'll have more to say about it, but
Yeah.
we're not in a position to really start streaming out or posting 4K videos, so
Yeah.
that's not going to be. We'll tell you what we think of it, but
Yeah. It's big, it's heavy.
It is really heavy.
That thing has got heft to it. Holy shit!
it's not as big or as heavy as I thought it would be, though.
Yeah,
How would you compare it to the
it's-
original Xbox?
it's still smaller than the Xbox One, the original Xbox One.
But it's
The
probably
original
about as
Xbox.
heavy as the Xbox One. Would you
Yeah,
say,
maybe it's definitely
I don't
denser.
know.
It feels very
I'm
thick.
Yeah.
Wait. The original Xbox One,
Yes.
not the original Xbox.
No, forget the
Oh.
OG Xbox.
Okay.
Trying to keep it
That was the
in
heaviest
modern
I mean,
context.
that
here.
is my go-to comparison. For
Well, I
console
also I
size
don't remember
and
exactly
heft.
how small
I might
it
say
is.
it's slightly heavier than an original Xbox.
It might
Really?
be. It's really heavy.
But
I
I
think it was
don't.
a
But I,
beast.
but I don't know.
Maybe just slightly less.
I'm
I
too
don't know.
strong. I can't tell weight. It's just like I just lift everything up like it's nothing.
Yeah,
so.
you
probably
bulked
figure it
up
out.
in
Yeah.
the years. So yeah.
I think it's probably heavier than an Xbox One,
Okay.
but
But it might just
But
be
not as-
density.
but
It's
not- yeah,
because
but it's
so
not as
tightly
big.
packed, whereas
Yeah.
an Xbox One feels hollow up
yeah.
top.
I saw like a stack. There's an image going around of a
Yeah,
stack of like PS4 Slim, regular, Pro, and then Xbox One, and
Yeah.
it's kind of in the middle there.
And the
But
Game Boy Advance.
yes,
We should see how many PS4 Pros we can bench.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just
Sony,
stack.
if you want to send us 30,
yeah,
Yeah.
just
we could do some cool video content.
I want to try Res in VR
Yeah,
on a Pro
yeah.
because that's
Res
supports
is
it.
getting
Battlezone
Pro
has
support.
it. So I've not tried any of the VR stuff to
Wait.
see.
Is VR improved?
Theoretically, so Res will. It's like the same kind of downsampling type stuff that you see on
Oh.
some of these 1080 screens, where they're rendering it internally at a higher resolution, but it obviously needs to be downsampled for the screens in the headset because
Sure.
that's the resolution of those screens.
Right.
but it still leads to a crisper image
Yeah.
overall.
At least that's the theory. I haven't tried it for myself.
I've seen some screenshots, detailing some of the VR stuff. And
Downsampling's-
if it looks better.
yeah.
We'll see it. in
Downsampling's
action
been
soon.
big on PC for a while. Like
Yeah.
games are starting to build that in.
It's
on
always
PC
like
now,
I've always
which is
looked
kinda
at
cool.
it as like some crazy extravagance.
Yeah,
like
it
when people do
totally
this,
is,
like,
yeah.
man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? And,
Yeah.
and then I went and built a new PC, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm
Yep.
totally rendering. This is
Yep.
this is insane.
Yep.
I'm downsampling to this fucking
Quake 3 at 8K.
2560 by 1600.
Yeah.
But it's really rendering higher than that. Like, yeah, it's neat.
Yep.
It's neat.
It's good stuff. Did anybody play any other video games of note?
I played a lot.
Yeah. You did a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
How
I
much
did
do
a
you
lot
How
of
you
remember?
feeling?
Oh, yeah.
I feel okay now.
Yeah.
Jason took a
Um,
longer than a God Eater minute.
Oh yeah.
That's for
Took
sure.
like 7 hours, God Eater.
Oh my
That was
God.
great.
Whoa.
Wow.
I am damned and determined to get that game off my plate.
Yeah.
Like I need to. And I
But
found
does
out-
it ever truly end?
No, actually, yeah. So I found out that there's like 160 story missions. I am currently on story mission 158.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow. That's
So I'm
Do
ready
it.
to wrap it up. But there's
Yeah.
a lot of like side missions that I need to do. and I'm getting lots of new info about the guy in the bunny suit. I need that shit wrapped up before I can close this chapter in my life.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I need to close the chapter so I can move on to things like fucking Doom. I haven't beaten Doom yet. Yeah, no shit.
It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but
lots of games I need to get to.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm going to stream it at some point.
Okay.
I'm going to
Some
put it in the
motivating
fucking
factor.
upcoming and
Yeah.
say, listen, we're going to fire it up. We're going to start streaming, and I'm not leaving until God Eater is done.
Lock yourself in a room.
It's got to happen.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
So how long did you stream for?
It was like 8 hours, but there were a lot of technical hiccups that just happened last minute. But yeah, my wife Lisa helped me, and Griffin was on camera and stuff. It was super cool because Griffin actually went to the hospital that we were raising money for, like the day before, just to get some blood work done.
Yeah.
And they gave him some scrubs and stuff, and it was adorable. But
Awesome.
no, it was a good time. But yeah, I just played God Eater for the entirety.
And you guys did the full 24?
We did, yes,
Yeah.
with the help of the Striker family.
And
They made
yeah.
a cameo.
Yeah, we popped in.
And Alexis Gajisa of Twitch,
Yes.
Ian Kelly,
Mhm.
former GameSpot and Giant Bomb programmer,
Yes.
and as well as Erica Arahak
Yo.
in the studio doing live drawings.
Yeah,
Holy
that
cow!
was
That
some
stuff
amazing
was
art.
Awesome.
She brought a
Forgot about that
Cintiq, and we plugged it in so you could
Yeah.
watch her
Yeah, that was
draw. It was amazing.
That was cool.
It was so cool. And we played a lot of Jackbox.
Okay.
Made a lot of terrible T-shirts.
Oh,
That's
those.
great.
What is it?
T-shirts.
TKO? Is that the name?
Yeah.
of it?
TKO.
I almost bought one of your T-shirts. I bought the double human pyramid one.
Oh,
was the one I
the human
wanted.
pyramid of
Yeah.
two.
TKO
I'm
is.
sorry. Yes, the human pyramid of two.
I think that thing is the best thing that Jackbox has done in quite a while.
Probably. I feel like Jackbox Party Pack 2 was just kind of off the mark and
Yeah.
not really great. But this game,
We played all the games
Yeah.
that are in Jackbox 3, and all of them are at least solid.
Okay.
There's none of them that you're like, nah, I'm never gonna play that one again. They're all like, oh, okay, that was fun. This is a little different, but
yeah,
Jeff, do you have
keep an eye
your
out.
scientist shirt yet?
not yet.
No.
I believe it printed.
Okay,
Or
good.
I believe it did not get canceled.
Are you
So
actually going to wear it?
That I would. We'll see
Please.
when it shows up.
Please.
I mean, I'll
It's a good
certainly
shirt.
wear it in here and
Okay.
get a look at.
Sure.
You have my
at least
permission
once.
as the artist. You can totally wear that.
It's my slogan, so
Okay.
I
And
own
I
half
paired
of
them.
that.
Oh, was
yeah,
that
so
you?
Yeah,
That's true.
So we all
Right.
we all have a piece of that action.
I felt like the crediting is a little bit misleading there because it only credits the person who paired the image and the
Yeah.
text, right?
Whereas, like,
at
he
the
made this-
end, it does say
Oh, it
art
shows,
by,
like, who did-
slogan
okay.
by.
Yeah.
It does. So for people who haven't seen it, like it's a T-shirt. You're making bad T-shirts in this game.
So everyone, like the first step is that everyone just draws a bunch of random doodles,
Yeah.
like whatever they can think of, and then the next step is everyone writes random phrases.
Well, and also they're drawing it on a phone screen.
Yeah,
on a
so
phone
it's like-
screen,
it
so
looks
it's all
terrible.
terrible
Yeah.
drawings.
Like MS Paint level.
Yeah,
of shit.
worse than that. There's no
And
fill
then-
tool.
Yeah.
The third phase is everyone gets like a random
Like a mashup of
mashups,
phrases
and you can
pictures.
you can pick between like 4 phrases and 4 shirts to then determine what you think is the funniest matchup between both of those two random components.
and then people vote.
And then
at the
people
end.
vote on which shirt is the best.
Yeah, that's a fun one. And I'll say, and before we started, like it seems really smart of them to put that game out right before Extra Life weekend.
Yes.
Because I saw a lot of people streaming that game.
Oh, that is smart.
Over the course of the weekend.
And in case it wasn't clear, you can also buy the T-shirts.
Right, and at
afterwards.
the end of it,
And then at the
they
thing-
will charge you $20 to buy any of the winning
Print
T-shirts.
and- yeah, it's so
Which is
good.
total. That's a great price for that.
Smart and devious, and I
Yeah.
bought one, and I'm an idiot.
They know what they're doing with the streaming stuff too, because there are new options for all 5 games specifically for streamers. Ways to hide the room code with a button. So
Yeah.
that people at home can't see it or whatever.
2
or
kind of
extend
started.
timers.
2, I think, had the extended
Oh, they
timer
did?
stuff.
Okay.
But 2, like just some of the games in 2 were just kind of either repeats of the first
Right,
game
Well,
right.
and
or
all the
like,
games
not
have
great.
all the games have audience interaction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like
built in.
they're
And that-
leaning into that shit.
Yeah, and that actually makes it matter. And all the servers were great for both our UPF and Extra Life streams.
And that thing, like the TKO in particular, has got that dumb kung fu movie vibe to it.
Yeah.
A lot of good art and stuff.
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
just
Good
it's-
soundtrack
it's-
there.
They
Yeah,
went,
meow, meow.
went some places with this one.
It's still just the smartest idea for a party game
Yeah.
to have people use
Yeah.
their phones.
Yep.
What a smart idea.
It's awesome.
No one's buying 4 controllers anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a phone.
Yeah, that whole
It's
package
great.
That whole package is good stuff.
It's very smart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other games anybody wants to bring to the table?
What's you asked me about the game and I can't
Onward.
remember. Onward.
That VR game.
Yeah, we played that a little bit too. People were recommending it in the chat during Extra Life, and
What is
so I
that?
booted it up. It is a VR game, like modern military. It's sort of like V-Arma.
Okay.
You're a modern military dude. I was playing it on the Vive. I don't know if it's out for other stuff.
I think it requires room scale, so
Oh, wow.
maybe with Oculus Touch it'll work.
Is it
Yeah.
multiplayer?
It is an online multiplayer first-person shooter.
That sounds terrifying.
So you
If
move.
it's as hardcore as Arma is.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not quite as well. I mean, a lot of the complexity of Arma is getting your soldier to move in the right way. Like there are like
taking the right position. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna
right,
crouch.
there's like
I'm gonna be on
there's
my
like
knees.
5 different stages
Yeah.
of crouch in Arma, and
Yeah.
you can move your head independently of your body with a track IR. Like it's insane doing it on a mouse and keyboard. But when you have VR and room scale, all that means is like you're just moving your body.
Right.
So, but you can move laterally with the left touchpad, like using a left stick. And because it's emphasizing more of the tactical nature of or tactical side of first-person shooters instead of something like Quake where it's super fast, it is pretty slow. And I only got a little bit nauseous when you're
great
with direct control.
Yeah.
But it's all real-world settings, so there was a point where like I moved my guy over by a car and then ducked down and peeked out from the car, and then I held up my sniper rifle, and you zoom with the sniper rifle by looking through the scope.
Right. Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
And if you bring your left hand Vive controller underneath the not the stock, but the barrel of the sniper rifle, your hand will snap to it, and that'll steady your aim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of like cool little touches like that.
That's a weird concept of steadying your aim, because you would think that it would be as steady as you are.
You
Yeah.
can hold your hands.
But is there sway in the scope even if?
Yeah, because anything in
not
VR
moving,
that doesn't reflect your movements sounds
that
like
seems like it would
really
be.
bad.
That seems like it would be weird.
I imagine that it would be 1-to-1 with one hand, and then having the other hand up there would like
Maybe it just-
smooth
yeah,
it
okay.
out,
That
or
makes
like
sense. Okay.
make it like it's in molasses or something.
Okay,
You know,
'cause,
not
yeah,
as jittery.
I could see that.
You shouldn't have to hold L3 to hold breath when your actual breath is
Right.
moving
Right,
the gun.
but like
Yeah.
in real life, the gun would have heft, right? It would have
Right.
momentum
Yep.
and mass.
yeah.
So this is like replicating that.
Yeah.
I didn't play a whole lot of it, but it was an interesting, an experiment that seemed to work all right.
Yeah, we've been meaning to dive into that one in the Verodeo.
Yeah.
There's starting to be a pretty good stack of VR games, accounting that Doritos VR Battle.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That's out on Steam for like $3. It looks terrible, but kind of amazing.
Alexis played Rec Room.
Okay.
Oh,
Did the paintball mode.
Mary
Yeah.
did too, right?
What's that?
Mary played some Rec Room too, right?
Yes. Mary dropped by. Danny dropped by. It had a lot of cameos.
Cavalcade.
And I am still just really impressed by Rec Room's ability to set the tone immediately. Like, hey, this is a video game and this is going to be fun. Don't
Yeah.
be a jerk. I don't know. Like we discussed it on the stream. Like I don't really know how they do that.
They charge $800 for the headset.
But like you can still be a jerk with.
well, you got Handybot.
You're right.
making
Plenty
sure.
of people that can afford $800 can be a jerk, but I feel like we're probably at that phase of VR right now where the only people that are buying the headsets are way into it and they want it to work.
So it's all
So-
a role playing server.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there was.
And I think if you had $99 headsets all of a sudden, and I don't mean this to sound elitist. I realize it does though. But I feel like if you had, like, as you get more mainstream acceptance of VR, a lot of these VR social spaces are going to turn into the rest of the internet. And you've seen some stories here and there of like people getting harassed and like just
Sure.
and shit like that in VR, and how that is a new level of weird harassment. So it's
just refreshing.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And that's what's striking about it to me.
Right. And I hope that like people are gonna have to develop new tools and figure out new ways to make these social spaces continue to work and not like devolve. and I hope it'll stay that way because it has been super
Yeah,
refreshing.
Rec Room's a great first step in
Yeah.
that direction.
It was weird to actually play Modern Warfare Remastered. It's the most voice chat I've heard in a console game in 5 years.
Huh.
And I wonder if it's just because people are used to people think of that game as a game they play with a headset, so they're putting their headset on for the first time in years,
wow.
or what I don't know what it is.
And you're not seeing that with Infinite Warfare?
No,
That's so weird.
like Infinite Warfare is silent by comparison.
Huh.
And that's not to say 100%, but like
Right.
you run into a couple people that talk. But like in my time with Modern Warfare, I've encountered more of people wearing their headsets or cameras or whatever they're doing.
Wow.
Than I have in a good long time. It's weird. I don't know what it is. I guess it probably is just that, like, because when that game came out, I was always wearing my headset.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And now I don't even know where the fuck my headset is.
We will have archives up of the Drew and Alexis and Ian and Erica stream.
Yeah.
In the coming days. It's a lot of footage.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then I think Vinny's is up on YouTube. But some of that stuff's going up on the site now.
Okay.
Alex's is up on YouTube. Jason, your stream is up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's up on YouTube
But
currently.
some of that
We're gonna
stuff
put it
will-
on the site as well.
Yeah.
at
I
some
I think
point.
our YouTube thing is unwieldy, and because
Yeah, like if you have the link to it, you can watch it, but it's 4 hours. Like
Yeah.
the video's been listed as processing on the back end of
For
YouTube
days.
for days.
Ah, that's a
so
shame.
it's 24-hour video. So
yeah,
who
I don't
knows?
even know if they allow 24 hours of video. I think they might do 12.
Yeah,
I tried to break them up as we were doing it, but I don't think that worked.
yeah.
So, but we have local archives, and we'll put them all up.
So
piecemeal.
I'm planning to stream maybe as soon as this weekend and do a 24. Dave Lang also went in there and did his thing.
Yes, he did.
Push up club.
His
yeah.
dirty deed.
Push up club, but he was doing curls.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Ooh.
he took it to
Barbell
He took
club.
it places. And Dan Teasdale and friends
Yes.
did a stream as well.
Giant Bomb team did gangbusters
Yeah.
this
Pasquale.
weekend. I think it's safe to say.
Still
yeah,
going,
yeah,
but that's
big-
not
big,
still going. So
Big thanks to Matt Pasquale. Yeah, like it.
yeah,
Technically, the cutoff is like the end of the year, right?
right.
Yeah.
So head over. It's giantbomb.com/extra life if
Mhm.
you want to donate. And yeah, all the streams will be going up pretty soon. But yeah, I was watching streams over the weekend and fiddling with my setup, and because I got a new PC, so I had to re-download OBS and do all this other stuff. So I've been fucking with it for a while. It's like, okay, I finally got all those overlays working with the donation stuff. I'm like, okay, now it's just starting to feel like, okay, now I'm gonna play 24 hours of Mr. Dew's Castle.
Yes.
No, I probably will play some of that actually, but yeah, it's been a matter of like setting up, like, okay, can this do PC games well? Okay, can I build this OBS setup to have Hitman laid in there, the PC version of Hitman? Okay, that seems to work just fine. Okay, can I capture Windows Store games? Like, okay, I got Gears 4 to show up. Okay, I don't know that I'm going to play any of those on stream, but I just want to know that I can get it working. I've got console stuff feeding in just fine, so it's like, all right.
It's complicated stuff.
Yeah, if you want to do all of it at once alone, it gets complicated.
I actually made mention of that. Like as soon as I started my stream, there was just shit that went wrong.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah,
just the
of
night
course.
before, I'm like, man, maybe those Twitch guys and YouTubers, aren't being paid enough because it's really hard when you're trying to mix in all that stuff
It's so nerve wracking
and do
for
it
me.
all by your
Yeah.
lonesome.
Specifically because it's so hard to check yourself. Like you can't really tell what the audio mix is when you're the one speaking the audio, and like you have to like do a test stream and get somebody else like, hey, can you hear me over the gameplay, and like blah blah blah. Like it's
Once you get
It's
into
stressful.
once you've tested it, then everything should run fine. But
Yeah.
just like, man, yeah, if I do it like once or twice a year, like I do now, it's rough.
yeah.
Like I got
it's
Elgato hooked up that occasionally just spits out a completely green screen.
Sure.
Right.
And I have to unplug it and plug it back in to get it to sync up and work. And my HDMI splitter died. And yeah, there's a lot of dumb shit about that. Also, OBS doesn't let you set up a scene while another scene is playing. So if you're doing a long
If
live,
you do OBS Studio,
I don't think it currently does.
OBS Studio, yeah, I think you've got like a preview and a program.
All right, it's a
feed.
one window app on my end, so I don't know. Maybe you can.
I
turn
think you
on a
can
preview,
enable
but-
it.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. I'll
Try that.
All right, I'll try that. But because that's something they said they were going to do. As I
think
was
it's
digging into it, and I'm like, all right, it seems because that's the thing you always want to do is like I need to set up for the next game without dragging a bunch of windows around on screen. And then I just realized like actually I'm going to lean into that because I think it's way more fun to just like
Set it
compose
up
those shots
real
while it's
time.
live. I think
Yeah.
that's just me.
If you out there can figure this stuff out and want to stream yourself, you can join the Giant Bomb team, and then any contributions made to your channel will contribute to the team. I believe at one point we were the number one team.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't
the
know if
first
we
time
still
that's,
are.
that's
I'm
ever
not sure where
happened.
we're at. we're over $200,000 for the team right now.
awesome.
Pretty awesome.
It's not enough. More for the
No,
kids.
keep
More
going.
for the kids.
Yeah. So you're going. I also hope to do a stream. I had hoped to do the one this past weekend, but I haven't even touched my streaming setup since the last time I did Extra Life, really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot of work, but hope
But
to get
yeah,
there
I
soon.
think I'm going to dig into a bunch of old games and then probably just play a bunch of Titanfall. So there's part of me that wants to just hit max level in Titanfall. So maybe I'll make some inroads on that. I'm not sure.
Also
I want to marathon Super Mario Sunshine, but I don't know.
do that.
I can't do it from home, so we'd have to figure out some.
Is your
situation
internet
here.
really so bad you
Yeah,
can't
I can
stream?
barely actually stream like watching stuff. Like
Man,
we have
something-
major issues with
something
Netflix.
rotten
and
going
Well, when
on.
you call
well,
into
no.
meetings,
What happened was fucking Comcast. Yeah, I got a promotional year when I became a
Oh,
new customer,
yeah.
and as soon as that was over, our internet just went to crap. We got 3 people living there, and they all stream stuff, and
That's-
I've
know,
not been able to stream.
You know,
for a
they
while.
don't shut off the internet in the office on the weekends. You could.
But
Yeah,
do we have a
we could do
way
that.
to
Yeah,
like
we can set
somebody
you
can
up.
just press a button and
Yeah.
then just leave me in there?
Yeah,
I mean,
we can set
how would you do it from home?
I would have to do it through OBS.
Okay.
Yeah,
you could do that here.
I mean, yeah.
You
I
could
we got
bring
computers
that
here that run
here,
All right.
OBS.
Yeah.
and the internet's pretty good here. You could do that.
As long as everything's
You do it
working
at
and
your
I'm not
desk?
pulling a cable or something that breaks your whole setup or anything.
I'd like.
If you can
could
oversee the
you
start
could
of it.
set up in outside of that setup, I think, by using the studio piece. Anyway, whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to do that, so we'll talk about it.
What's your
Okay.
goal? All the stars?
His goal is apparently to play a bad video
All the-
game on
all-
stream,
like-
which
like
I think
all-
that's
like
the way
all
to go.
the
All the
stars?
shines? I think Mario
Wait,
Sunshine is the
wait.
only one I haven't
They're not
gotten
called
all the-
stars?
They're
They're called
shines.
the shines.
Shine get.
What?
They're suns. They're
I-
yeah, shine get.
You know what? I got all the stars in Mario during a previous marathon thing, Mario 64. I wonder how long that would take, but yes, that would be a fun attempt. So we'll see. We'll see if we can make that work.
All right, I'm going to have to hold you to that.
Yeah.
Clock's ticking, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Got it. Well, 2 deadlines. Like, the Extra Life ends and you're moving right around at the same time.
So I have to find someone to move into my apartment
to-
so I don't pay San Francisco rent for 6 months.
figure that
Alright.
stuff out. But,
So Brad's doing 24 hours on Friday. Jeff's doing
Oh, God.
Saturday 24 hours,
got a
and then
lot of work
Dan,
to do if that's
and
the
then-
case.
I'm
Sunday.
looking at Saturday, but my wife is sick right now, so
Oh.
I'm kind of holding fast on definitely committing to a day until
Gotcha.
I see how some stuff shakes out. But that's the current plan.
Cool. I was thinking about maybe the weekend after that,
Yeah.
if things work out. So, anyway. All right.
Dan, when's your book tour done? Will you have time
Ah.
then?
I think the next week and a half is the big promotional run, unless Kansas City news stations will have me on when I'm back for Thanksgiving,
Oh,
which
boy.
I'm trying to make happen because that sounds hilarious to me. I've sent some emails.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to send some emails to them and say, under no circumstances.
Be careful.
It's about Kansas.
All right, that's the games we've been playing. We need to take another quick break.
I'm sure Kansas will love your portrayal of the state.
We'll be right back.
You like getting boxes in the mail, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
exactly.
I like to stack them up.
Yeah,
I like to make a box fort.
get boxes and more
Yeah.
boxes and more boxes, and then what's in those boxes?
I don't know.
Well,
Stuff? Things?
yeah, stuff.
Yeah.
Why-
Items?
If you like stuff,
Uh-huh.
and I know you do,
I like trinkets.
you love trinkets.
I like a tchotchke now
You
and
like
then.
gear, housewares,
Some kit once in a while.
collectibles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Figurines.
Then maybe Loot Crate is for you.
Oh.
Loot Crate will send you a range of pop culture items in the mail
Okay.
every month for less than $20 a month.
You know, all those other things we just rattled off, I had never considered loot.
Exactly. You could get this loot. It's it's a month like they've got also have Loot Wear, a monthly wearables and accessories subscription.
Ooh.
So yeah, you can get things from cult classics, your favorite franchises.
Some hot brands.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you love brands and you want an even bigger brand experience, then why
Yeah.
not try Loot Crate DX?
Whoa.
It's a bigger box with bigger loot.
What's DX stand for?
Deluxe.
Okay. Oh, sure. I'll
Yeah.
buy that.
Yeah. November's theme is magic. So the November crate will be magical.
So I'm going to get like a rabbit and a deck of cards and like maybe
You'll
a,
get-
a top hat.
Bewitching items from Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Fantastic beasts and where to find them.
Oh, yeah.
And Big Trouble in Little China
Whoa.
and more.
I've heard of that one.
Yes.
Recently.
All right, then. These are things that you could all get access to in the month of November. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific time to subscribe if you want to get that crate. But when the cutoff happens, that's it. That's it for the November crate. You have to get the December crate, which is probably even better. Who knows?
More like Magic-vember.
Uh-huh. Go over to lootcrate.com/bombcast and enter the offer code bombcast, and you'll save $3 off any new subscription today.
All right, let's read some headlines. We kind of cannibalized a number of them in the first segment. As we said, the PlayStation 4 Pro is out on Thursday.
Yes.
We will have more to say about that in the coming days and weeks.
Sure.
Let's
me.
say.
A news cannibal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm news?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you'd have to be.
It's like news.
It's news eating news.
News is the other white meat. Talked about the Hitman Season 2 stuff.
Hitmansies.
This is not a huge story, but in a way it kind of is. It's kind of mind-blowing that this Infinite Warfare situation with the Windows 10 store versus Steam. I guess you guys have probably seen that.
Yeah.
They have siloed players off by store on PC. So if you bought Infinite Warfare on Windows 10, you can only play multiplayer with other people who bought Infinite Warfare on Windows 10. Or in the Windows 10 store, I should say.
I wonder if, so they're probably using Steamworks and stuff like that for multiplayer on the Steam version of the game, which I think they have in the years past.
Yeah.
I've not messed with the PC version of that game. And I could see why you wouldn't do that for a Windows 10 store version. For that version of the game might not be able to include that.
Yeah.
So this seems like a situation where there might not have been any other way around this.
Yeah.
With like the way business is done. And who knows if even... I actually wonder if Microsoft would allow you to put Steamworks into a game that is being sold on their store, or if they've got a weird limitation.
Yeah,
Probably not. But
they might not allow that, but I pulled this from a Kotaku story who talked to a Microsoft spokesperson who basically said, hey, that's up to Activision.
Okay. All right.
Like, not specifically about Steamworks, but they said, like, we allow cross-play between platforms if they want to do it. So...
Seems like they just didn't do the work then.
Maybe hopefully it's just on Activision here, and this is not going to be some kind of awful precedent. Because, man.
Well, if you want like one more reason to not buy games out of the Windows 10 store, there it is.
So in this case, the game is $12 cheaper in the Windows store than it is on Steam.
Including the remastered edition?
Yes.
I wonder what the player counts are like on those versions of the game. Like I have no idea, but I can only imagine that they're abysmal.
$16 cheaper for the what are they calling it? The Digital Legacy Edition?
Yeah,
with
that's the
both.
Version.
It's $64 for the one with Modern Warfare Remastered on the Windows Store.
Wow.
It's like a pretty significant discount. Like you could see people wanting to lean
I
that
wonder
way.
if Microsoft would subsidize some of that stuff, just to like, hey, put your game out on our Windows 10 store. We're trying to establish it as a place to go. Like, I wonder if they're out there doing those deals to make that stuff work.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Activision doesn't have a good reason to do that.
Right. But, buyer beware. That's not a great situation, but hopefully not going to be a thing we'll see repeated.
The Steam player count for Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered has not looked amazing either way. So I don't know.
How has Call of Duty been on the PC for the last 3-4 years? Like,
it's been fine.
It's always been a healthy platform for that series, right?
Yeah, they've been good ports, generally speaking. Once people got over the idea of like it doesn't have dedicated servers and kind of got used to the consolification of the franchise, it's been pretty smooth. Sure, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 1 started on the PC.
It's true.
Exactly.
We watched some of that.
We did.
The game weirdly kind of held up.
Yeah.
Seemed all right. You guys want to talk about BlizzCon?
Sure.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Oh.
There's nothing to talk about.
Sombra.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Sombra looks cool.
Is she's not out. She's out on the
She's on
test
the test
run.
realm.
They're
Okay.
doing the test region thing, but then I think like a week or something like it. It's going to be very, very soon. She's going to be available. She seems cool.
Are you guys into Overwatch enough to get on there and try her out early, or are you just going to wait?
I don't do the public test stuff.
Yeah.
I just wait, and if it's a matter of a week or whatever,
Yeah,
like, I'll certainly try her.
So what's her deal?
Huh?
What's her deal?
She's a hacker. She's
Code
got purple.
cracker?
She looks like a Saints Row the third character with a lot of
She's very
purple.
purple.
Okay.
So her hacking ability lets you, like, if someone's got a defensive ability out, it sounds like you can use hack to nullify it.
Like shields and
so you
turrets.
kind of get up close and say, "Fuck this thing."
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like Torbjorn's turrets.
Yeah.
And
Take
I
down
wonder
that
what-
ice wall, maybe.
I don't know if you can hack an ice wall.
That's an organic thing.
Maybe
I don't
there's a
know.
computer in there. I don't know how the fucking ice wall works.
Nano machines.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bastion counts. He's a turret.
It's a living turret.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea for
Can't hack
ability.
Bastion, but the bird on Bastion usually.
Right.
can hack.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
She can kind of like phase in and out and become invisible at times. Yeah,
Wow.
she looks pretty cool.
Do you guys care anything about Overwatch esports?
That stuff actually sounds really fascinating.
really does.
Yeah,
It's regional. It's region based.
Yeah,
so they're going to call
the-
teams Overwatch League.
The
I think is what
Overwatch
it's called.
League is
Yeah.
the name of it.
So they are. It sounds like that they're going to try to establish this thing for realsies and maybe get some of the creepy feeling, like prize pool based stuff out of the discussion a little more.
It seemed to have like an air of class to it that
Yeah.
a lot of esports does not. Like they're paying all the players salaries, so
Yeah.
it's not purely just based on your winnings. Like you can actually make a living doing it.
And
wow.
and they're putting teams in locations, so it's like you will play for Los Angeles, and not some mouse pad company,
Right.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah, even the headlines I saw going around about the finals were talking about regional teams. It was like I think South Korea beat Russia in the finals, which gives it almost like an Olympic feel.
It's like the World Baseball Classic,
yeah.
but for Overwatch,
Right.
And the jerseys aren't as good.
I mean, Overwatch itself has kind of that feel.
Sure,
Yeah,
Everyone's nationality is emphasized in
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Benetton
cool.
ad
I
or
think it's-
something.
It sounds like they're doing it right. I remain like kind of uninterested in first person shooters as esports.
Yeah,
but
that's
I know
a hard
people
hill
are
to climb.
super into Overwatch. So
I think it's a neat idea, and it actually solves some of the issues I personally have with how esports has been, or it could theoretically. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But
So would you root for San Francisco's team?
No, I don't care. No, I would find I would probably find a team that had the coolest logo and or
Okay.
mix of players.
Yeah.
I have not been tied to my region's sports teams for a good long time.
About the Las Vegas Outlaws.
Yeah. Okay. Now
Yeah?
we're talking.
Okay.
The LA Extreme
Yeah.
might be. I don't know if the New York, New Jersey Overwatchmen.
Right. Yeah. They're great.
Yeah, they're probably pretty good. No, it's going to
Whichever
come down
team
to
Ichiro's on.
who's got the coolest jerseys.
Okay.
Really,
sure,
is how it's going to go.
Right. Do they have team names yet?
I don't think they've announced that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, in these finals they were just referring to them by country.
Yeah.
But that stuff sounds promising. Like that seems like a positive direction.
If anything, if nothing else, it'll be weirdly futuristic and cool to see like team locations for an esports thing instead of, like I said, just whoever's sponsoring the team that week.
Yeah.
Put their name into your player name and go.
Or at best, as it is with Dota, it's just like abstract team names. You've got Evil Geniuses and Digital Chaos and stuff, but that still is kind of meaningless. And people try to assign like nationality to that stuff, and they kind of can't. Like they had like a lot of people were referring to a team in the international as an American team that actually only had like 2 or 3 American players on it.
And I just think a lot of the names of those teams are lame. Like they just don't sound cool. They're not stuff I could get behind. Like this sets up an ability for just like, who do you got?
Yeah.
The Phoenix Vandals.
Right.
I don't know. Like there's just.
Or you could just say Phoenix and feel good about it,
Yeah.
I can't wait to say we when I'm talking about.
We really got out there and we really nailed them.
Also, for
we
me,
played a good May this time.
Sure.
Yeah.
it was
We fielded a good Soldier 76.
It was kind of heartwarming for me to see South Korea dominating esports again. It's been a little while.
Should be.
Yeah. It felt like things were returning to their natural order.
Yeah.
Um,
I find all that stuff fascinating in a way that like esports has not been so far. So I want to see how they pull it off and if they can make the business of it work.
Yeah.
And then maybe apply it to a game that is a little easier to watch than a shooter is.
Yes. Most of the news out of BlizzCon was pretty standard. A new expansion for Hearthstone, new content for WoW. Drew,
Yes.
do you want to talk about Diablo 2?
Yes.
How do you feel about the Necromancer?
Strongly.
What if I told you the Necromancer is coming to Diablo 3?
What?
Yeah. They're releasing a Necromancer pack for Diablo 3
All right.
that will have the Necromancer
Fantastic.
and a bunch of like cosmetic items around that character class and stuff.
Great. I might have to get back into that.
Well, don't stop.
That's not all.
Don't let me stop you.
Okay.
So yeah, this Necromancer pack sounds like the only thing they're going to be charging money for. I'll just say that up front.
Well,
Like
all right.
they made a bunch of Diablo 3 announcements. The Necromancer also comes with an in-game pet, 2 more character slots, and stash tabs, which I think is a shitty thing to put into your paid update, like Borderlands style, but whatever. Some other cosmetic crap. So that'll be the only thing they're charging money for. They're also putting out a free update for Diablo 3 called The Darkening of Tristram, in which they are remaking the original Diablo.
heard about this.
in Diablo 3, which I think is an amazing idea.
That is an amazing idea.
It's going to be a 16-level dungeon. It's going to have all 4 bosses from the original game. They say there will be special graphics filters and 8-direction character movement.
Wow.
If you want it.
Graphics filters, huh?
Yeah.
Remove all the
Weird.
rainbows.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. So desaturate that color palette finally.
It's just a checkbox in the options that just says murder next to it. You just turn it on and go, all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn this on.
I sense death in this place.
So all that stuff is coming to the public test realm next week
Wow.
for the Diablo 1 stuff. I can't wait to see how they do that. I guess we're coming up on or maybe just past the 20th anniversary of the first Diablo.
God. Shit.
Yeah, right.
Do
So-
I want this for Diablo 2? I don't think so. I think I just want HD 2D Diablo 2.
Hmm.
Like sprite based.
Yeah.
That stuff.
I keep thinking that will happen, but they haven't made any moves in that direction.
I
yet.
mean,
But,
you can already
there are ways to
edit
hack
some
that stuff.
INI
Yeah,
files
you can totally
yeah.
make that work if you want. But yeah, all this Diablo 3 stuff sounds awesome. They announced a bunch of other stuff, like seasons are finally coming to the console versions.
Oh, okay.
They're doing a bunch of UI stuff, like new types of rifts, a new zone
I wouldn't mind
or new zones.
I wouldn't mind controller support for Diablo 2. Because then you could like play it on a laptop on a flight.
They never even patched controller support into 3 on PC, though, did they?
No.
Didn't
Oh,
they
I
like
know.
take a firm stand on
I
that?
think they did, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, a lot of stuff happening with Diablo 3. I can't believe they haven't announced another actual expansion yet.
Diablo 2 for the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, sure.
That says a lot of really negative things about the Switch. If it was just like, we're putting Diablo 2 out on there.
Here's what we could do.
Shit, man.
I'm trying to resist the urge to just read from I'm sorry, what her name escapes me. Laura Dale, is she the one that's been breaking so much of the Switch news?
I believe that's the
Like
case, yeah.
like I'm trying to resist just reading from her Twitter account on a weekly basis. She was tweeting a bunch more stuff over the weekend about the like for instance the Mario game being just about finished, implying that it might be a launch game.
Seems
Talking
sensible.
Talking a lot about some of the ideas that people have had around Wii U games being ported over and how new they would be, and making it sound like it was kind of a half and half thing of like
Right.
there's too much new content to call it a port, but not enough new content to call it like a full
Yeah, it's
follow up.
Like
Like
seems
it's,
like a champion edition
Yeah.
kind of thing.
so I mean whatever we're not that far off from this January event where this stuff will be confirmed for real.
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 Championship Edition DX.
Yeah,
Sure,
you could play
sure.
as the same Pikmin versus same Pikmin. It's awesome. Also, you can play as the
Finally.
bosses. It's huge.
That's kind of it for news. Not a whole lot going on this.
Yeah. Oh, I saw
these last few
on the
weeks.
PlayStation blog.
Oh,
they
yeah,
posted
yeah.
Some stuff about PlayStation View.
Go on.
Drew, you're a View subscriber, correct?
Yes.
I'm actually just pulling up my phone here. Let's see here.
They've made some improvements to that thing.
So this is maybe, let's say, a retraction, depending on how you look at things. They're going to lose a batch of Viacom channels.
Is NBC Sports Network a Viacom channel?
I don't know. That would be an NBC, Universal, Comcast,
Great.
whatever channel. So Comedy Central, Spike, and MTV, among others, will be lost. This sounds like a business thing because the only thing they say here is, as part of our ongoing evaluation of the PlayStation View offering, we have determined that removing the bundle of channels from Viacom is the best way for us to continue offering the most compelling value to our fans.
Wow, that is
Which is like the
high
most
grade
fucking,
spin.
That is some backhanded. Viacom wanted too much fucking money for this shit, so fuck them, is what that sounds like.
Well, like to keep the cost at I think it's like $40 that I pay now.
Yeah.
Sure. Like
Which
I don't.
You would see this type of held hostage kind of situation pop up on cable networks and stuff like that, where they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we sorry, because negotiations have gone bad, G4 is no longer available on DirecTV.
It doesn't
or
give me
whatever.
a lot of confidence in the service though, because
Right. It's still so new, the idea of losing
I signed
channels.
up for PlayStation View because I cut my cable TV.
Right.
And if it's going to be constantly in flux on what channel I
Yeah.
have and what channels I don't, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's already like one
frightening.
of the weaker things about Netflix already, is that
Yeah.
stuff disappears from that service as fast as it is added.
So they're also adding NBA TV, BBC America.
Okay.
That's cool.
Local broadcast stations from CBS and Fox. And
Oh, really?
something called Vice.
Huh. You mean Waypoint?
Yeah, they're adding Waypoint TV.
Okay.
Halo
Halo Waypoint.
Waypoint TV.
All right.
72-hour streams around the clock.
It's Master Chief in a couch in their lobby. It's gonna be awesome.
All right. Playing Halo 2.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m.
I think our segment from when I went out there for the Waypoint stream is now up on YouTube.
Mhm.
Oh,
If
perfect.
you want to see me and Vinny and Alex showing up over there
That was so great.
and playing fucking
With Austin and
The
Patrick.
Choo-choo Rocket?
Choo Choo Rocket and how to beat up a millionaire.
Does that hold up?
Yeah, it's about as good as it was back
Well,
then.
that's good to hear.
Yeah,
All right.
It's I'm gonna say slightly worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking game. God.
All right, that's going to do it for news. I guess let's read some emails.
Sure.
Here's that music. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Send your emails there. Okay. Eddie from Andover in the UK wrote in, we got so many emails about teeth brushing. Holy shit.
Okay.
And they all said the same thing.
Bring it.
But I'll read this one. Out of like the 3 dozen similar emails.
I've got a retort already planned,
Okay.
so lay it the fuck
Yeah,
on
no,
me.
I'm with you.
Limber up for this one.
The official guidance from the NHS in the UK says not to rinse your mouth after brushing your teeth.
Good.
I've got a new retort.
Okay. I have quoted the paragraph below for your convenience. Everyone knows that Brits are well known for having great teeth, so this advice must be correct. After brushing, spit
He
out.
made the retort for me.
Yeah, there you go. After brushing, spit out any excess toothpaste. Don't rinse your mouth immediately after brushing, as it will wash away the concentrated fluoride in the remaining toothpaste, thus diluting it and reducing its preventative effects.
Yeah.
Vindicated.
It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
likewise.
Nope.
It's not that bad.
I don't want.
Just give a good spit,
So
get it all out
they're
of your
saying
mouth.
don't immediately rinse. They're not saying don't rinse.
It does say immediately, so you could rinse. I don't know.
They're saying maybe, hey, leave it on there for 20 seconds or something,
Oh, wait.
which I actually sometimes do.
That I could live
because
with.
I do my hair after I brush my teeth. So sometimes I go and then I go, oh shit, I forgot to rinse my mouth out. And then I rinse my mouth out.
What if
So I'm
you-
not a goddamn savage.
What if you like badly need to drink some orange juice?
Then, I can do that. That's not a problem for me.
Oh.
That's I can brush my teeth and drink orange juice. I can do it the opposite way if you want.
No, you
Could
can't. You cannot do that.
I totally can.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that not like? What?
I could probably rinse my mouth out with orange juice.
I was gonna
after
say, brush
brushing
your
my teeth,
Brush your teeth with orange juice,
and
see how
it
it goes.
probably wouldn't cause it wouldn't taste so bad that I would have to spit it out or anything like that. Like it's not a problem.
If we made a shot of toothpaste and orange juice, would you take it?
No,
Well,
because
no,
I don't.
'cause you
I don't
can't-
because I don't drink toothpaste.
You're not supposed to
That's-
I'm not a
consume
fucking
toothpaste.
child.
Okay.
It's bad for you.
I went to the dentist yesterday for my
Damn.
cleaning.
Wow.
You know what they said to
What's
me, a person who brushes his teeth on a somewhat regular basis,
Yeah.
let's say,
Yeah.
daily,
Uh-huh.
some might say,
Okay.
almost daily.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to lie. There have been some Saturdays where I've just fucked up and not gotten out of the clothes I slept in and not brushed my teeth. It's happened.
Okay.
I'll admit it here in front of you that occasionally happens.
All right.
They said, man, you brushing teeth are really great.
All right. There you have it.
They told me a week ago that I need to floss more.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to them that I floss like 6 times a day.
Check
and they were
this
like,
out.
you need to floss
Not
more.
enough. Clearly, it's not enough.
Check this out. I ain't flossed in months.
Oh man.
And they were like, you're doing really good.
They check your gums?
Yeah.
When you
Oh,
get
yeah.
The 1, 2, 3
Yes,
thing? They
yeah,
did
yeah,
that?
they're
Yeah.
1, 2,
Do you have any
2,
4s or
2,
5s?
No,
I got some 5s.
So I had not been to the dentist in close to a decade when I first went earlier this year, and they were like, "Yo, you got some 4s, you got some 5s. You should. We're gonna put some high intensity mouthwash in there to kill some stuff and get things back in shape. But you should brush better." And I've been brushing more or less the same as I have, but it's all been fine. It's all been coming back. It's
Some people produce
4s.
more plaque than others.
I heard angulation is super important because they were telling me to do 30 seconds per each quadrant of your mouth, 10 on the surfaces, and then 10 on this side and 10 on the inside, which is a whole process. Do you guys do that?
I have a toothbrush that beeps multiple times to tell me when it's time to move on to the next quadrant. Yes.
Okay.
As do I.
Those Sonicare toothbrushes they seem good.
Yep.
Huh.
As someone who does not floss but just got told he's doing a bang up job, I'll say those toothbrushes seem pretty good. I don't know. Yes, 30 seconds per quadrant. Absolutely.
Right.
100%.
Okay.
It's very scientific.
Yeah.
My dentist has been completely on my ass for the last year to get my wisdom teeth out, and I just refuse.
Oh, wow.
It
Wow.
It
Wisdom
sucks.
What's that?
It sucks.
He keeps saying it'll be totally fine. He's like,
Well-
I can pop them right out. You can go right to work afterwards.
Keep in mind, I did not do pain medication for it, so it might have sucked more for me. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it will be fine for you if you take the pills they give you.
And I did mine in the 90s, and so basically, maybe the procedures have changed or something like that. But I was on pain medication for like a week.
A word?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah. My dad had his wisdom teeth out at the same time, so we were both just hanging out,
Same time.
talking real slow.
Dry sockets?
Sure.
I did not get dry
No
socket.
dry sockets? All right.
Because I'm careful.
I think don't different people have to do different extractions based on how their teeth are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
So
I
I
had-
only had 2 wisdom teeth.
Okay.
So
I had
at that
5.
point, I only had
What?
tops. Ooh,
5?
shit.
I had 5.
What the
That's-
fuck?
That's
I think-
that is one too many.
I know.
Where was the extra one? Like right in the middle of the roof of your
I
mouth?
think it was up near my nasal cavity or something.
Oh, that's
That?
bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely got to get that one out.
Oh.
Yeah, so I only had tops, and they were starting to poke through, and they were like, "Look, this is eventually going to like tear up the bottom part of your mouth when they come in.
Yikes.
So let's do this." And I was like, "No, okay, I guess."
I keep resisting because I'm stubborn.
That gas sure is nice.
Yeah.
Come back with some 10. 10.
I they knocked me the fuck out, and I woke up and went like, "When are we going to start?"
Yeah.
And but it was more like, "Where we're going to start?"
And the dentist was zipping up his pants and he said,
Yeah,
we're
and he
done.
said, "All right, we're done." And I'm like, "Great." And
Terrible,
then apparently
terrible
I cursed up a
Seinfeld joke.
storm in the car. My mom was driving, but apparently like I was so fucked up from like whatever they gave me that I was a mess. But whatever, it was all fine in the end.
And emails about not using water at all.
I don't think so. It was just a zillion people screaming at us to stop rinsing our mouths out as soon as we brush.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did see one subject line about dry brushing, but they seemed very angry about it. So I don't think they
In
would.
which way?
I don't think they would like disgusted by it.
Oh.
So I don't necessarily think they would support you on that.
Like, I don't understand the emphasis on it's like everywhere I go, like I remember going to Boy Scout camps as a kid, and every single time they told you where everything was, and if you need to brush your teeth, there's water here. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't need water for brushing my teeth at all. I would bet that in the Geneva Convention, there is written a stipulation that you must give prisoners of war water with
It's a
which to
war
brush their
crime
teeth.
not to provide
Yeah.
water
I'll bet-
for teeth brushing.
I'll bet the guys in Guantanamo Bay have water to brush their teeth.
Yeah, probably.
You don't need it.
It's a nice thing.
Unnecessary.
It helps the tooth.
It's not
toothpaste, like,
necessary.
foam
It's just
better.
nice.
I don't know. It's more pleasant, let's say.
Y'all are soft.
Yeah.
I'll take it. My dentist said I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
So
End of the day, whatever works.
pull all your teeth out. Whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
do
You,
it.
you don't need them.
I got a blender.
Liquid food.
You could get some fake teeth,
Soylent.
Yeah.
some better teeth, some robot teeth.
Ooh.
Taylor wrote in from Orlando with a sad piece of news. You guys may have heard this by now,
No.
but he says about the sweary tattoo.
Oh,
It's fake.
damn it.
Just painted on. I actually follow the tattoo artist on Instagram. He is a prolific traditional Japanese tattoo artist.
That is some
Apparently,
nice
they were
work.
classmates in university.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But they did actually paint it on him and
Yeah.
then take the picture?
Yeah,
It wasn't like
sounds
a
like
Photoshop thing?
Yeah, that's so believable. Like
Okay.
I was ready to believe that he had
That would have
done
been
all that.
amazing.
It's just, when you think about it, it looks so dark and like it looks like something that had just gotten done.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if he'd had that tattoo for years, it would have faded.
You're
at
right.
least
You're
a
right.
little
It
bit.
did,
Yep.
it did look a
Maybe
little
it's
shiny.
a celebration of him becoming a monk.
I could buy that.
I want Swery to lead me in a Buddhist.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I would go on a spiritual vision quest with Swery.
Absolutely.
I'd join you.
I believe it's called #Drink
I love when he does that. He's a great guy.
Everybody follow Swery on social media.
Yes, he's great. Jack in Chicago writes in with what he describes as the most important Nintendo Switch question. Will Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch have a rolling pin world like the handheld Animal Crossing games, or will it have a flat world like the console Animal Crossing games? The public needs to know.
It better go flat.
I would prefer it to be flat.
Really?
They're both fine.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed handheld and
Wait,
console
really?
games. Yeah.
I love that, like, rolling horizon. That's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
that sense of a rolling horizon.
Like
I always
Death
like
Spank.
What?
that. Man. Wow. I haven't
One or
thought
two.
about
What are we talking
I
about
had to
here?
reach way back.
Yeah.
for that.
I haven't thought
Let's-
about Death Spank in a very long time.
I believe one of them became backwards compatible, so
Oh, shit.
I may have thought about it relatively recently.
Let's go get on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know this. The A to B to C of this is weird in my mind, but that just reminded me of that Mass Effect stuff. You guys see that?
No.
Oh, the trailer they put out? Yeah.
I think it's because Mass Effect 2 and 3 went backwards compatible yesterday.
Oh.
As part of their
trailer.
Yeah, they put out like a story trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda.
There's a good 3 seconds of gameplay, I
Well,
think.
it's all cutscenes. They say there's going to be a gameplay reveal at the Game Awards here shortly.
When is that?
I don't know, a few
Next
weeks.
month.
Yeah, a month or something. I don't know. The trailer looked all right.
Yeah.
It's like a Mass Effect game.
I feel like I want a pretty big departure from what Mass Effect has been for this game.
Yeah.
So,
and if anything, some of the early stuff they've been saying sounds like they're trying to get back to the formula. Like they said, loyalty missions are coming back.
Yeah. Which I think there's a way to have loyalty missions while still having a larger departure from the overall gameplay and action of that trilogy. But I'm not 100% sure what I want out of a new Mass Effect, but I don't want something that is just here's a next gen Mass Effect game that is starting a new story that we will then have another trilogy.
Especially a new story like in this totally new place where it's a bunch of new alien races and you have to like learn a whole new fiction or whatever. Like that, I'm not sure.
I don't know. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that stuff sounds all right.
I mean, I got really liked the kind of future of humanity and like the sort of political intrigue and maneuvering of the original Mass Effect universe. You know, it was kind of like here's mankind.
Think of it as
stepping.
Mass Effect Voyager.
Yeah,
Everyone loved that, right?
That's exactly what I'm worried about.
Yeah, you're
Voyager.
Right. You're right to be.
Voyager was just an attempt to remake all that shit in a different different setting. And, no.
What if I told you Kate Mulgrew was in it?
Okay.
All
right.
All right.
Now I might be on board. Let's see. Let's read one more email and then we need to take another break here. But Matt from Perth, Australia, writes in. I never had an NES when I was growing up. I had a Master System instead, the one with Alex Kidd built into the firmware. First of all, is that a thing?
Later models had it built right in. I think eventually they built Sonic
the
into
whole
it.
game.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Oh, we didn't even talk about the fucking NES Classic Edition either. But watching the NES Classic Edition Quick Look reminded me of all the good times I had going to my friends' houses to hang out and play Nintendo, so I'm definitely picking one of those up for Christmas. It actually got me thinking about the weird version of Super Mario 3 my friend had, where the two-player mode had cheats enabled by default. Mario would start with 99 lives, and Luigi would start with the normal amount of lives, but would have one of every power-up. We would always fight over who had to play Mario because extra lives are boring, and we both wanted to use the raccoon suit. Is this a common version of the game? My friend's family was originally from Singapore before they moved to Australia, so I think that's where they got his copy of the game.
That answers your question right there.
Yeah. I remember it looking like a regular NES cart, not like a dodgy 101 cart or anything weird like that.
Yeah, that's got to be a pirate cart.
I've never heard of that.
So, yeah.
I guess is it common for that stuff to just get like monkeyed with and then shoved back into a regular NES cart?
There are the cases
back in the day?
Yeah, cases like that exist, certainly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit out there.
Yeah.
Famicom's shaped like sports cars and just like all kinds of
Man, all right.
Yeah, once you step out of the kind of US, Japan, UK kind of markets
where everything was super regulated,
you get into like Dandies, which is like the Russian Famiclones.
Yeah.
Wow. Like just all this fucking wild shit out there and all these pirate carts and all. Yeah.
My roommate in college grew up in the Philippines, and he would tell me about going to like markets where there were where pirated hardware hung out, and it sounds like a place I want to go.
Someone in Japan just got busted for selling
saw that.
Famicoms with like 600 games built in. It looked like some kind of handheld thing or something like that. But there's all kinds of fucking wild shit out there.
Yep.
And there's that end of it, and then also like a flash cart for the Neo Geo is coming out this month for the first time.
Jeez.
So you could theoretically have a micro SD card with every Neo Geo game on it, plugging into your Omega or arcade cabinet. I think it's MVS.
Super intense.
What's the deal with the classic NES as far as like a RAM?
Yeah, let's talk about that thing.
Okay.
We got one of those in here.
Yeah, we did. GameSpot's Peter Brown took one apart and brought it in the middle of that video.
Yeah.
There's
nice.
not a lot on that board.
Yeah.
So the idea of adding games or anything like that is definitely... Well,
not
I
in the
shouldn't
cards,
say
unless they
definitely.
like just resolder something on. right?
It doesn't seem
even then.
Yeah,
It's like a board.
I was talking to
Yeah.
him about that. He said there have been similar devices out there that like secretly had like an SD card slot on that motherboard, just like not exposed externally.
Yeah,
But you could take it apart and stick an SD card in.
And maybe there are like fucking points on that board you could solder something to add something to it. Like we won't know until people really start tearing it apart. I don't even think the thing's quite out yet.
If anything, it's a nice little enclosure
Yeah,
for the project.
Yes, exactly. If you wanted to gut that thing and put a Raspberry Pi in it, that'd probably be an easier way to go.
But whatever, like it totally does what it purports to do.
Yeah, it plays those 30 games. I imagine
controllers
and people. I saw some people going like, I can't believe it's not expandable. And like, no, when it comes time to make an expansion for it, they will sell you another one of those with a different 30 games on it for another $60.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it'll be like the NES Classic Edition 2, and this one's green.
Yeah.
Or
it looks like the top loader.
Right.
Or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
They'll find a way to differentiate.
Or they'll do a SNES. You know,
Yeah.
I think that like this thing was never meant to be expandable. This thing's right in line with all those plug and play joysticks and all this other shit that's been coming out for decades that is, you know, you see in mall kiosks and all this other stuff. This is their one of those. This isn't meant to be something that you expand.
It's not a platform.
But the Genesis is going back into production in Brazil.
What?
Where Sega's where the Genesis lived on, or the Master System even lived on for a good long time. Tectoy and all this other shit company. So apparently they're putting out a Genesis that has an SD card slot on it.
Oh my god!
In case you want to get wild,
and I do.
But they will. I think they will also sell carts. You know, remakes of existing carts like that. Like that stuff's happened over there for years. Over, down.
Guess I'm going to Brazil.
Yeah, I kind of would like to get my hands on one of those. I bet the sound sounds like shit. Like a lot of those from all of those latter model Genesis units and stuff like that. Like the music, the audio, the FM synth stuff just sounds like trash.
That's too bad.
Even the Genesis 2 doesn't. Anyway.
There were some sound effects in the NES one that were bugging you. Was it Mario 2?
Seems fine. I didn't go back and check. But some people in the comments went and looked at it and said, no, it's fine.
Okay, it seems fine to me.
Yeah.
You were freaking out about a turnip throw.
Some of the Mario 2 sound effects seemed like they were pitched incorrectly. But maybe I was just thinking of something else, or maybe my ears have fucking gone crazy.
Those controller cables are real short.
What is up with that?
Yeah.
They're
like what practical purpose could that possibly serve? Like
so you
why
sit in front of the TV like you did when you were a kid.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe they just wanted a cable that was in line with the like Wii nunchuck cable, because that thing is a nunchuck plug. It's a classic controller plug.
But that's wireless. Like.
No, it's not. The nunchuck is not wireless at all.
Yeah, the nunchuck? Yeah, I know, but I mean, you can hold the nunchuck and the Wii remote from your couch.
But you can also plug this thing into a Wii remote. So I wonder if they just went and made a peripheral that was like, hey, it's a classic controller for the Wii, but
for
it
like
looks like an
virtual
NES
console
controller.
games and stuff like that.
No, just like because that's the around the cable length that they put on all those things.
Are those
the Famicom version of this is actually in slightly worse shape because like a Famicom, the controllers are permanently attached.
Yes.
So there are aftermarket companies that are going to sell extension cords for this thing.
I think Nyko.
There's a couple of companies that are going to try to get that money out of you for extension cables. On the Famicom version of this, that's not even an option but that was also that's true to the original Famicom, which was I always thought was a crazy thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the original Famicom, those controllers are attached.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
And those controller cables were very short for that thing, even back in the day. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they should be longer because people sit far away from their TV now, and
long HDMI
and some of the
cable
other use case stuff
yeah.
around that thing, like having to get up and press buttons on the
Yeah.
thing to change games or save states or whatever. Like,
I get that they want to keep the controller itself pure and the way you remember it, but like just put something on the back or something that'll let me get to the menu basically.
Yeah. It's a cool thing, and the price seems reasonable, and they will sell a zillion of them. But like, it seems like it's like 80% of the way to where it needed to be.
That thing is for people who will not have much of a problem with any of this stuff because they're just like, fuck it, I haven't played Mario in since 25 years. What's this? What's up with this? Oh man, Final Fantasy. What is that? I remember hearing about that. You know, it's not for anyone who has been living with this shit day in day out for years. Unless you just want a cool looking tiny Nintendo.
Yes.
Which is the only thing I find like long term appealing about it.
That's kind of neat. What is it, $60?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
$2 a game.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Pretty good game lineup.
Yeah, it's got Simon's Quest on it, so it could do better.
And Ice Climbers.
All right, since I mentioned that, I'm going to find one email before we take a break. Oh no. I shouldn't have said that. Now I have to scroll through all these emails.
Let's take a break, and then you can scroll.
That
and
I'm talking about.
It's a cliffhanger now.
That's probably the way we should go.
All right.
Let's take that break.
Mattresses in the mail. You know about this.
I do?
Yeah.
Wait.
You know
hang
about
on.
Lisa. We've been talking about Lisa for years.
I mean, my life is kind of a blur.
Okay.
It all sort of runs together.
Then I'll start over from scratch.
Maybe you could refresh my memory.
Lisa gets rid of that awkward mattress showroom experience.
Oh, I hate that. I go out every weekend looking for a mattress, and I just, I make it about through the front door.
Uh-huh. And then you just get creeped out.
And there's that guy there.
Exactly.
He's looking at me.
Yuck, nasty.
I don't enjoy it.
Instead have someone else deliver a mattress right to your door in a box the size of a mini fridge.
It's not going to be that guy, right?
No, it will not be that guy.
Okay.
Unless he changes careers. I mean, I don't know. This might eventually put the mattress showroom out of business.
Oh, good.
Right?
Yeah.
You never know.
Forget that guy.
10-inch mattress comes in all sizes, 3 unique foam layers, 100% made in the USA, ships for free to the US and Canada.
I like free shipping.
And you can try it out for 100 nights for free, risk-free.
That's like 3 months and a week.
Yeah.
And change.
Yeah, risk-free, not actually free. You buy the mattress, but if you don't like it, it's risk-free. You can send it back to them.
No skin off your
mattress.
Okay. Sure.
Head over to LE. Yeah, I know, right? Ugh. Think about your current mattress.
Yeah.
How long have you had that mattress?
A number of years.
Gross.
Yeah.
What if you had a new mattress?
What if I had a new mattress?
What if you got $75 off that
Ooh,
new
that
mattress?
would be even better.
Then head over to leesa.com/bombcast and enter the promo code bombcast at checkout, and that's $75 off this mattress in the mail to your door. $75 mail.
All right. In retrospect, this email was not worth keeping you in suspense for.
Oh.
But Dave from Rochester, New York, just wrote in and said, on this election day, which gets your vote as the best group of 30 games, NES Classic Edition or Rare Replay?
Overall,
NES Classic
you got to say
Edition.
NES.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got the 3 Mario games on there.
Yeah.
Punch Out.
I would argue that there are
It's got
individual,
Punch Out.
there are individual
I'm in.
better games
I'm
in
in.
Rare Replay than...
Got my vote.
Mega Man 2.
There are great games in Rare Replay.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. But
there's a lot of filler. There's
Yeah.
a lot of fucking, I don't know. Are there Amstrad games in there?
there's Spectrum games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might as well be the same thing as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, look, the Amstrad is newer. And
What?
CPC.
Go on.
Okay, the GX4000.
Continue.
Burn and Rubber.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Burn and Rubber and you look at a Spectrum game, and you're going to immediately see the difference.
Good to know.
I don't mean burn. It's not a bump and jump port.
It's fair.
It's a different game called Burn and Rubber.
All right.
Is this a third-party candidate?
Ocean.
Are they even on the ticket? I don't think so.
Only in like 11 states.
Is it Burn and Rubber?
It's just about funding,
no,
man.
No, it's Burn in.
Because I could see that being like cookies and cream,
Yeah.
like a two character
Right.
sort of.
You're thinking of Lucky and Wild, I think.
Okay.
Does anybody know a reason that we got multiple emails about Phil Collins this week?
No.
No.
All right. Well, I pulled 2 of them. Just because. Alex from Kansas. You guys remember do you guys remember when you attended a Phil Collins concert in GTA Vice City and could watch him perform in the air tonight in full?
That was...
Man.
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
He just says, man, fuck Phil Collins, but that was great.
That was Vice City Stories.
Was it?
I believe so.
That's technically a separate game, right? Totally different.
Yeah,
game.
it's set in Vice City, originally PSP, came to PS2. But yeah, that was a big part of the marketing,
What
too.
do people have against Phil
Commercials.
Collins?
He's fine.
Why do I feel like half the time people talk about Phil Collins, they always follow up, like they feel like they have to qualify with a fuck Phil Collins.
I wonder if
Really?
it's because of that South Park stuff, like from
I
like the
don't-
late 90s. Like there
Mm.
was an episode where they just, shit all over Phil Collins for a while.
Weird.
He goes on and says, Rockstar should always throw in a pop culture reference from the era the game is set in. Like in the new Red Dead, you could watch Washington be admitted as a state in 1889 while John Marston just leans against a building in the background and smokes a fat blunt. I don't think it's not what blunt.
I mean,
I don't know that there were
sure. it's-
cowboys smoking blunts.
I mean, I wasn't there.
I mean,
I assume someone was.
cigarillo perhaps.
Yeah.
Phil Collins, anybody?
Sure.
All
Why
right.
not? Yeah, I got no problem with Phil Collins. Though, like, since he like retired and unretired, there's been like interviews Well, I don't know. There was some interview of him talking a bunch of shit about Paul McCartney. I think it was.
Aw.
Okay.
It was just like, oh, fuck
All
that
right.
guy.
That's some aging old British white musician beef I could get into.
Maybe he played Destiny.
Yeah,
that's
that's probably what it was.
Sure. Peter from Birmingham, England also writes in and says, I just wanted to point out that by appearing on the Beastcast and Bombcast in the same week, Jeff is now the Giant Bomb equivalent of Phil Collins playing both Live Aids.
Yep.
So
that was the goal.
That was your motivation, right?
More the Lex Luger, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaved for one of them. And yeah.
What did he do?
Kind of a Rick Rudish sort of
Well, I guess
situation.
Tell me what he did.
Luger was Raw one week, Nitro the other. Rick Rude was actually on the same week, right?
Yeah, and they said they pre-taped wrestling. WWF was pre-taping their Monday night show at that point, so he appeared on that show with a full mustache.
Yes,
and then was on the competing show shaved.
Okay.
No, I think he had a beard. I think he had a
live.
beard on Raw
And a
just a
mustache.
mustache
Okay, maybe
on,
that's what it was, yeah.
on Nitro. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he was DX Rick Rude with the beard when he
right.
left.
Of course, yeah.
That's some commitment.
It's ravishing.
One could say.
Let's see. Yair writes in from Israel. I wanted to write in and say that situs inversus, the condition described in episode 6 of Hitman, is indeed a real, albeit rare condition.
Yeah.
It's found in about 1 person in 10,000. It's basically a condition where the internal organs are organized in a mirror image of the normal anatomy. So liver on the left, spleen on the left, etc. It's usually asymptomatic, meaning the person is unaware of it until he or she has imaging done for some other reason. It does indeed complicate transplants, as regular organs like the heart won't connect properly to the blood vessels in the patient. Fun fact, Enrique Iglesias is one of the few known people to have this condition.
Couldn't you just turn the heart like 180 degrees?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I mean, we finished that
I've
Hitman
seen
mission.
Face Off.
You know
You
what
can put a
happened.
face on top of another face as long as you connect the tear ducts and blood vessels.
You saw what happened when I grabbed that heart and threw it in the trash can.
Yeah. You just got on your snowmobile and
You
ran
know,
away.
you know well how that
Spoilers.
turned out.
So good.
No, because
Man.
it's not backwards. It's flipped.
Yeah.
It's reversed.
It's not backwards. It's like
A mirror image.
Everything is
It's
on
like
the
your
other side.
hands.
So like the connectors are on the other side
Yes,
and everything?
everything is on the other side. It is 100% on the other side.
It's like if you took an imprint of your hand and then tried to put your other hand in it.
yeah.
Could you just get some like extenders?
It's like having
Yeah, Nyko's making them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having, if you tried to transplant it, it would be like having 2 left hands, let's say.
That'd be
So,
inconvenient.
yes, exactly.
But maybe fun. Who knows?
Who knows what you get up to.
Nah.
Might be. How will you know
What
until you try?
circumstance? What circumstance?
I like shaking people's hands would be a real
Just freak
spook.
'em out?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thomas writes in from Canton, Michigan with a short question. Is Brosidon a dumb name for a PSN account?
Yes.
You think so?
Perfect.
I think
It's,
you-
it's,
good-
it-
but
it is-
good.
It is, yeah, it
think
is.
it's-
It is super dumb.
I think
I'd
it's
say
pretty
go
good.
for it.
I think it's pretty solid. I'm into it. Maybe one day you'll be able to change that,
Poseidon Jr.
but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Let's see. Question from Jason. I'd love to hear you guys discuss the show Black Mirror. It's a phenomenal Twilight Zone style near future anthology show with a focus on technology. Anybody?
Every person I know is telling me to watch.
Am I the only person here?
Have you not seen
Black
it?
Mirror?
I've never
no,
seen
I
it.
am.
I'm about
I
halfway
have.
through season 3. It's
Okay.
fucking fantastic.
Is it
Is
good?
it on,
Yeah,
is it on
super-
Netflix or
I-
where is that at?
It's all on Netflix.
It
yeah.
usually wrecks me like after every episode.
I made it through the first 4 episodes and have not yet gone back to it, and that was about a year and a half ago because it is fucking one of the grimmest, darkest things I have ever seen in my entire life.
You would be excited for season 3 actually.
I
'cause
heard
there's
it's a
one
little
episode
more
in
upbeat.
particular, San Junipero, where it's
Yes,
a little more
I've seen-
upbeat and
seen a ton of people talking
kind of
about that one.
Yeah, that show is really, really fucking good. Like even when it's like up front, it's like, oh, I see exactly where this is going. There's usually some kind of twist at the end that
Yeah.
just like leaves you fuck.
It's basically
it's a
like
great show.
Twilight Zone is kind of a good analogy, except
Sure,
it's
it's
not.
an
It's not,
anthology.
it's not there to unnerve you.
Right.
It's more like pretty insightful, like social commentary about where technology is probably going
Yeah, yeah.
in such a way that you think that maybe everything about human development is a mistake.
Is there a set cast,
No,
or is it
no,
like
no,
every
no,
episode
it is every,
is
it's
like
completely different cast, completely different premise.
Huh,
I do
that's pretty
like
cool.
the
A lot
Twilight
of it is fairly like ripped from the headlines, or like it's like very believable. Like, okay, here's where we're at now with tech. Like this could easily happen in 20 years.
Right.
Okay.
And holy shit, that's depressing. Like it's a rough watch, but it's extremely good.
I don't need to like flash forward to get depressed about where we're at with technology in some ways.
Right.
Like you can look right now and go like,
Yes.
oh man,
Yes.
we're in
So
for it.
Flash Forward is a different show.
Might as well
Okay.
wallow in that. Yeah, I highly recommend it, but I haven't gotten back to it. But yeah, I heard season 3 is a little
A little mild.
bit more watchable.
Yeah. I think so far. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm halfway through. I think I have like 2 episodes left.
Okay.
but-
Is that episode you mentioned, the video game episode? Because I heard there was one.
So there's like a VR virtual
Or maybe that's
reality,
what I'm thinking
which is
of.
more of a horror one, but
Okay.
this
that's
one
not
also
that one.
has like a lot of video game references, and
Okay.
they like go back in time and stuff, and you'll see a lot of old arcade machines.
Also, Charlie Brooker, the guy who like created and wrote a lot of it, I think used to be in the UK Games Press,
Oh wow!
if I'm not mistaken. So there's that also.
Hmm.
You should check that show out. Let's see. Dan,
Yes.
would you like a mold lesson?
Not really. I saw a bunch of
Samuel-
moldy bagels this weekend. It kind
it-
of grossed me out.
Where'd you get the
I
bagels
was
from?
running around Lake Merced, and somebody had thrown like 8 Asiago bagels on the grass, and they were all covered in mold, and it grossed me out for a second.
Well, Samuel from Kansas wrote in about how mold happens.
Kansas mold, so you know it's legit.
There you go.
I'm familiar.
It's mold from the heartland.
Yeah.
With 5 years of studying biology, I want to clarify a point about mold. Brad was correct that mold grows in damp and dark places, but the discussion missed one component that explains why a glass of tea would mold over a weekend, but a glass of water won't. Nutrition. Mold grows in the dark and damp, but it needs to have something to eat. Tap water is generally too low in organic matter to sustain a visible mold colony, but tea, being a bunch of organic matter suspended in water, is much more hospitable. If it's sweet tea, it's even better. More types of common mold eat sugar than anything else. Mold and mildew grow in showers by subsisting on organic matter washed off of your body and stuck to the tile, and grows on walls because many kinds of drywall use paper backing, which some molds can break down, or eat organic matter deposited by flooding, as was the case in hurricane-flooded houses on the Gulf after Hurricane Katrina. Mold doesn't like light or being dry, but like any living thing, it needs to eat. This has been your Mildew Minute.
That makes sense.
Yeah?
That's a very good explanation.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
get that. Yeah.
Feel like you learned something today?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, sure. Okay. Brad writes in from New Brunswick in Canada. If you had to give up one of the following 4 food items for the rest of your life, what would it be? Pizza, tacos, chicken wings, burgers.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Wow.
Hang on. Say it.
had no use
Pizza,
for bones,
tacos, chicken wings, and burgers?
Yes.
I think maybe tacos?
I think I'm with you on that.
What?
That was
You
my
guys
first
are
thought.
insane.
Because there's so many other good types of Mexican food you could eat
yeah,
instead of tacos.
I get burritos and quesadillas way more than I get tacos.
Yeah, totally. Let's thinking.
Chicken wings.
Oh, chicken wings
Yep.
are so good.
I can still have nugs, right? And like chicken tenders.
Yeah, those aren't
That's
those
a
aren't
different
wings.
I prefer those over wings.
Definitely not
Yeah.
wings.
If I get a rotisserie chicken,
Uh-huh.
do I have to not eat the wings?
They don't come with wings.
Or are we just talking like buffalo
Ooh, that's a good point.
buffalo
It
wings?
does just say chicken wings. You do a lot of rotisserie chicken?
Yeah.
Us too. It's good stuff.
I could skip on the wings
Yeah.
in that case as well if I had to.
Oh, wings are good.
Hey, Drew?
Yeah.
I got something for you to try.
So
I just learned that, you got the sous vide thing, right?
I do.
Bacon overnight, throw a bunch of raw bacon in there overnight, and then it'll be cooked, and then throw it in the pan and sear it in the morning. It is the best bacon I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
It's
Slow cooked bacon.
It's super juicy and tender, but also crispy.
Oh, yeah.
It is the best
Oh, because
bacon
it's
I've
so
ever had.
so slow cooked. I guess all the juices would stay in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is ridiculous how
Huh.
good that is.
How much? Okay. All right. When you put the bacon in the Ziploc bag,
Right.
is it all one layer?
No, I think it's all mashed up. I don't know. I didn't make it,
Oh, okay.
but I saw it in there, and it looked like it was just a bunch of pieces kind of folded up in the bag, and you throw it in there.
Okay. I'm
You
gonna
Google this. Just Google sous
right.
vide bacon, and I found a really good step-by-step on what temperature to put it at and how long to sear it or whatever. It's ridiculous.
Okay. I'm gonna have to investigate that.
Turning into a real food scientist over there.
I thought you were gonna say chicken wings and nacho cheese.
Okay.
That's probably okay too.
Yeah.
It's probably very good.
Jeff from Lexington, Kentucky wants to know if we eat our soup to completion. My wife and I were debating whether or not you're supposed to keep eating the broth of the soup after you've finished all the solid pieces. She quits eating as soon as she finishes the last piece, leaving several ounces behind, whereas I won't stop till my bowl is dry.
I finish all my soup always.
Yeah.
I don't do the cereal thing. I don't
So-
drink
What?
the milk.
You're scum.
What?
It's gross.
That's the whole point of cereal.
It's always just like weird.
How
like,
is it different than soup?
Soup is just soup. That's food. Like cereal, like milk, is
Good
just this
point.
weird
Yeah.
delivery.
convincing
Oh.
logic.
Yeah, pulling some debate
Like
class
if you
stuff
want to,
here.
if
I
you
know.
want to tell me that, like, hey, I'm not gonna fucking eat breakfast cereal out of a bread bowl, like, I'm with you. There are differences between cereal and soup, but this is not one of them.
I think the milk tastes gross by the end.
Okay.
And I feel like maybe in the time it took me to eat the cereal bowl, what if it turned a little bit? I don't like the idea of rotten milk.
What?
It definitely does not turn.
I just like to
Unless
err
you're
on the
taking
I like to
hours.
err on the side of caution. I don't like mold. I don't like gross rotten food. I think it's more a taste thing though.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I'm not
Certainly
big
not a mold problem.
I'm not big on the taste of cereal milk.
And that's 100 like every type of
Every
cereal.
cereal.
doesn't matter.
I've never once drank the milk of my cereal since maybe like kindergarten. I went, nope, not for me.
I used to have
You're out of
a
your mind.
cereal bowl with a straw built into
Nice.
it.
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I mean, it's just like chocolate milk, except instead of chocolate, it's like Captain Crunch milk.
But with
Yeah.
weird like soggy
it's-
food flakes and
No,
stuff
it's
in
when you
it.
get
like,
eat all the cereal first.
well,
and
you
then it's
try
just-
to, but there's still just going to be flakes and shit in there. It doesn't
don't-
seem like a drink.
Why
For a
don't you
while,
just
I wanted
use
to
water in cereal? then,
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Well, no, the milk helps. Like when you have milk in the spoon with the cereal, it certainly helps. It's so much better than dry cereal.
But it tastes okay, right?
It's the combination of things. It's when you eat a burger, you eat meat combined with cheese. You don't just eat the cheese. The combination of milk and cereal is good, but
Have
just
you
the
ever eaten
after.
cheese just
But
by
I would
itself?
certainly eat the
I don't-
cheese. I don't.
I mean,
yeah.
I would too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
but
I mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
kind of arguing against your case here.
Okay. The milk tastes gross at the end.
All
It's good while it's with the cereal.
Depends on what the cereal is.
Now I'm sitting here thinking about eating breakfast cereal out of a bread bowl, and maybe that actually would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think you were onto something there.
Like a Panera
boy.
bread bowl
Yeah.
filled with like Captain
Yep.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
let's,
man.
Let's
All
brush
right.
the outside of the bread bowl with some like cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah,
then.
okay.
Oh,
So let's
oh.
just go ahead and make it a full confection.
All right.
I feel like the milk might have a problem with the bread, though.
Sounds-
Maybe
yeah.
it
So
might break
right
it
in
down
there.
a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, just pour the clam chowder onto Captain Crunch.
Mm, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Hang on.
We'll workshop it.
Seth writes in from Hayward, California about Steam. I was randomly looking up Dark Souls 3 the other day, only to see that it is listed as mostly negative on Steam at about 40% positive reviews. Looking at the reviews, most were from people who had sunk often hundreds of hours into the game but were upset about something with the DLC rollout. The reviews never actually discussed the quality of the actual content of the game. It doesn't seem like non-video game review systems have problems like this. The closest comparable thing is when people leave Yelp reviews on restaurants saying things like, I didn't make a reservation and they didn't have any tables when I went, 1 star. But that isn't as widespread as video game user reviews usually are. It seems like this system is, by its nature, making itself worthless. Is there any solution?
They've tried to. Steam just made some changes recently to have like an overall, like, is it mixed positive or whatever overall, and then recently.
Okay, yeah.
So they can adjust for a game over its lifespan.
Yeah.
So if it does go bad or get good, you can look at recent reviews that will ideally reflect its current state.
And they do that with the App Store too.
Yeah,
It's like
they
since
do.
the last
Yeah.
update.
But
We saw this with, I think, the Xbox One on Amazon when it came out. Everyone ripped it for having to be connected to the internet,
right.
even though most of those reviews were people who had not yet bought.
I think user review systems are really hard. You see people registering on Metacritic just to go give games 10s or 0s just by virtue of what platform they're on, and just like stupid shit, you know? So I'm not saying that like user reviews are completely worthless, but the amount of digging you have to do to get at ones that are valuable is sometimes more than it's worth, more trouble than it's worth. And Amazon with its like kind of, is this, and Steam has it as well, like, is this review useful? Yes, no. Like, in an ideal world, that would help, but then you've got people that are just like downvoting or upvoting that stuff just to be dicks, and the internet.
I went and looked at shampoo on Amazon today, and the top like 5 of them, you click in and read the reviews. Yes, I read the reviews of shampoo.
Of course.
Like 95% of all of those reviews were, I got this product at a discounted price for in exchange for an honest review.
Right. Yep.
And there's like hundreds of reviews.
Yeah. That's Amazon has to, that's why Amazon added like the verified purchase kind of stuff. Steam now has a thing where if you got a game for free, it will list that alongside your review, and it sounds like that your review also won't count towards that positive, negative stuff.
Did they go back on some of that stuff? Because I think originally didn't they roll that change out as like nobody who had gotten a game through a code could review it at all? I think that's what I saw people saying at first. Maybe they tweaked that.
I want to say it was always this way, but I could be wrong.
Because I saw developers, maybe it was just looking like it was going to go that way, because I saw like developers who had run like Kickstarters and fulfilled most of their
sales through codes.
They were saying 90% of the people who have our game got codes from our Kickstarter, so that destroys our user reviews.
Yeah, I wonder what I would like to see some good correlation between like if user reviews actually translate into more sales or how many more sales or like what sort of impact they have one way or the other. It does. I would be curious to see if there were no reviews, if that would have a negative impact. If there were negative reviews, obviously that's going to sway some people.
I definitely, when I'm buying like just whatever, I definitely lean away from stuff that doesn't have any.
Doesn't have any? Yeah.
I think it's Football Manager 2017 right now.
Right.
If you go look at the Steam reviews on that, it is very negative because they don't have a Chinese language version. That's all the negative reviews.
Huh.
And then all the other reviews are generally positive.
Right.
But it's because there are so many of those, it has a mostly negative tag next to it.
Yeah, and that's like, how do you solve that? Do you then try to like bundle up all those reviews and classify them a certain way so that if you are not visiting the site from a Chinese language browser, it knows to filter that stuff out? Like the number of cases you'd have to account for in that becomes exponentially impossible to deal with.
I mean, that's thankfully they have, like, you as the consumer can go and read all of them and say like, well, okay, clearly all of these negative ones are for the lack of Chinese support. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and buy this. But
it'd be nice if there was some kind of machine style way to bundle those up so you could just say as a user, like, okay, that's not an issue that concerns me. Right. So remove it from contention here. What is the score now?
Right.
Like that's a very hard system to build, but that's probably what you would need.
I mean, as long as you're willing to do the legwork, your human brain can figure that out.
Oh yeah.
But
totally.
that still that sticker shock of mostly negative, you're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty damaging.
Yeah, it just means I feel like with any user review round like roll up, you always have to look down and see why, whether it's positive, negative, middling. Like there's always kind of like that feeling of like, okay, I need to probably dig into some of these and see what they're actually saying. Just going off that top thing, whether it's the stars on Amazon or the way Steam surfaces it, like that stuff's never great.
Yeah,
I would say the same about professional reviews. The score is only a very small part of the overall story.
I did not buy that shampoo.
Did you buy a different shampoo? Did it recommend you a better shampoo?
It did not recommend me, but I'm going to buy a different one.
98% of users who viewed this page went on to buy this shampoo instead. That sort of data.
Yeah.
I like that you're such a discerning shampoo shopper.
I mean,
not a lot of brand loyalty over there.
No.
Sometimes you get to step outside your comfort zone.
What have they done for your hair lately?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little more video game business here. Tobias writes in and says, 2K Games announced last week that Mafia 3 became their, quote, fastest-selling game, beating the likes of Borderlands and BioShock, with a reported number of, quote, 4.5 million units shipped in its first week. Mafia 3 launched with average to okay review scores and not much of a PR campaign, at least here in Germany. So this number seemed surprising to me because shipped means sold to retailers and not to customers. I wanted to ask if that number has any relevance nowadays. With semi-legal and gray market online shops and all the other key marketplaces selling the game for around $20 to $25 just 2 weeks after launch, which mostly seems to happen with slow sales or so-so review scores, I wondered how many of these, quote, units sold are actually just huge batches of keys that were bought in bulk in Asia or Eastern European countries for resale online. Could that be the case?
Well, some of these are going to be console versions of the game.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I would think probably most of them
most physical copies are going to be console for sure.
Yeah, physical, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, that is a good point. I don't know. I don't know what the, obviously digital sales are increasing. I saw one number that made it seem like it was around 30% of overall sales, and
I saw that recently,
slowly
too.
climbing.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a huge factor that doesn't get factored into a lot of the sales data we see, because there are still not too many places that roll that stuff up. Or also like physical sales data is hard to come by, and you get stuff like sold in instead of sold through, and all that sort of stuff. It's why we are not analysts, because we're not.
Yes.
We can't quite pick apart all this data completely. But
what if we got more data?
I love data.
I know.
It's fun.
It'd be great.
There was a while there that we had some there was a while there that like legitimately we had access here back in the day to NPD, to full NPD data.
Yep.
And that was fun to look at.
And tracks.
Yeah, it was all rolled into tracks.
Oh,
so it was like you got one view that was just tracks data and NPD kind of overlaid.
Yeah.
And you were just like, fuck.
It was
man,
awesome.
I see why this is destroying
business of
video games. Because you look at that stuff, you're like, oh man, like that's, of course you give that. Oh man, well, whatever. That's a different story. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's not always enough data, especially for I don't know much about the German market per se. But I don't know, Mafia from our end of things or from my end of things, I feel like people have been largely positive about Mafia. It's certainly launched with some issues around the PC version and frame rate and stuff like that. That even when they unlock that frame rate, it sounds like it's not quite hitting it as frequently as you want.
I felt like there was kind of a gleeful tone to a lot of those bugs that were going around though that almost made people like the game
like
more.
weird open world
there was some
jank
good
fun.
fucked up shit in that game that made me want to play it for sure. I don't know. I'm not sure how that game's actually doing.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see a lot of like wide talk about it. It seemed like the people that were playing it were very interested in it because of the story that they were trying to tell. It wasn't a game that was going to latch on to that kind of larger mainstream GTA audience, I don't think. It seems like it's, the people that want that kind of period piece and like that type of story are liking what they're finding, though.
Someone was describing it to me as an urban Far Cry 2. Just a bunch of weird AI systems intermeshing and causing a bunch of fucked up stuff to happen, and that made me really want to play it.
Okay, I'll uninstall it. Do you have malaria? Can you get it?
Yes. 60s malaria. It's the worst kind.
Yeah, it was way worse back then.
The 60s was the worst.
Got it off a toilet seat.
Worst decade for malaria by far.
He did go to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. All right, one more business email from Justin. With Bethesda's public change in review policy, it may be safe to say that if this sort of thing becomes industry standard, then sooner or later, more and more gamers will be scorned by pre-orders and lack of knowledgeable reviews of games that turn out to be bad or overhyped. If so, then I'd guess that the consumer base will eventually wise up and start to wait far longer than they currently do to purchase a game. Do you think Bethesda's and presumably more game companies' change in review policy may eventually cause gamers to become more restrained and cautious in the long run and essentially act in the exact opposite way Bethesda is banking on us to do?
I think it really... It's creating this struggle between like wait to find out if the game is any good or not, take advantage of pre-order offers and get bonuses, and that's kind of how it's always been. But a policy like that kind of stretches that out a little bit, and I think upsets the balance a little bit. I don't know. There was an interesting story on I believe GameIndustry.biz that was talking about kind of how the sales story for games is starting to change away, and that week one sales are not always the thing anymore.
Really? Like the longer tail is starting to matter?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That stuff's starting to actually make some sense.
I've seen some developer chatter on Twitter recently implying that maybe pre-orders aren't what they used to be in terms of priority.
Yeah. So I seem to remember like it was right after we got bought by CBS, and we kind of then were installed into an organization that had at least some kind of sales force in place, even if they don't really focus on us. But it was like, when asking like, okay, well, what would we do to matter to a sales team like that? Like the response was like, well, what do you think your site could do to drive pre-order numbers? And I was like, I'm done with this conversation.
Turn and walk away.
And so like then, that year pre-orders were everything. It was the only thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we are starting to see some maturation around like consumers and their purchasing stuff where they're willing to kind of hold off a little bit.
That would be great.
Or they're not being fooled as much. And I think that'll lead to a stepping up on the other end. And I think you've seen some of that this year around the idea of play this game early. I think that's like the ultimate thing of like, hey, get this expensive version of the game or pre-order it or whatever, and you can play it early. Wouldn't you like to just play this thing you're hotly anticipating right now instead of waiting? Like that's a very powerful offer, I think, when you match it up with like the full wave of marketing that sometimes some of these games get. And I think that's devious in its brilliance. But also, I feel like, we're kind of on the other side of that of just like, hey, like try to make informed purchases when you can.
Yeah.
And I think we're lucky in that we speak to... No, I say this, but some of this is actually old data because we have grown so much over the last handful of years here. But, we used to have survey data in place about the Giant Bomb audience that was very much like, this is an extremely savvy audience. And I would feel comfortable about like, this is an audience that probably knows what to buy and what not to buy.
Yeah.
But we've grown. We've grown a lot. And I think that's, not as much the case as it was anymore. We're starting to attract a much larger audience of different levels of interest in video games and all this other stuff. So
people that don't want to spend as much time following
like
the business and the promotional pitches and that kind of thing.
Totally, yeah. Like so I think that, there's definitely there is some value to reviews. And 3 years ago, I definitely felt a different way about it because it was like most of the people we were speaking to, and I still think that's the case, most of the people we're speaking to, follow this stuff on such a daily basis, on such a regular basis. It's such a large part of their lives that they can kind of cheat around reviews because they've spent enough time looking at games in development through preview coverage and all this other stuff to kind of get a sense of what the pitfalls potentially are and are hopefully able to make a more informed decision around that stuff. And, those are the people that I think that tell us that, quick looks are just as valuable, if not more valuable than reviews in that sense.
Yep.
I still think we get a lot of people that say that. But at the same time, sometimes we go into quick looks having played 45 minutes of a game. It's not meant to substitute for a review.
Yes.
Even if it can help in some of those decisions. I guess I don't really have an end point on that. It's just it's fascinating the way this stuff kind of continues to change.
Yeah.
And maybe pre-orders matter a little bit less than they used to, or maybe I guess actually that's probably not the case. Publishers
they would always love
to lock up those sales,
get money in the bank before there's a product,
and know what they're going to sell, and also be able to use those pre-order numbers to go back to a retailer and sell in more copies.
Yeah,
because the pre-order numbers are just so strong, you need to sell in more copies.
Yep.
But the shift towards digital is going to change that. Pre-ordering a digital game is insane.
Yes.
That's a decision you can make an hour before the game comes out and still get the pre-order bonus. And if anything is lined up right, then you've seen enough leaked footage of the real game and hope maybe reviews have hit by then as well. And, there's every game is going to be a slightly different situation, and it's all a fucking mess.
Also, pre-order bonuses
are usually terrible.
When was I'm trying to think of the last pre-order bonus that really felt essential.
Dude,
and I kind of can't.
Honestly, the power of get this expensive version of Forza Horizon 3 and play it right now.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And doing it in a case where it's like, hey, the game comes out Tuesday, but what are you doing this weekend?
Right.
Give us $100. Let's go.
I don't have anything going on this weekend.
Exactly.
Because I never do.
Do it.
Let's play this game.
So that's a new front in this kind of battle for consumers.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful one. Yeah. We'll see.
So it's almost like shifting the question from fear of missing out, which is what the pre-order stuff is doing, because it's like, hey, get in before this is gone,
right?
To more of a situation of hey, what are you doing right now,
right?
What if you're just playing now?
Yeah,
it's a weird.
But then also some stuff.
Other people are playing this game.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not.
And the pre-order wrestler for the WWE game is now in their store for $5.
Really?
Yeah. Immediately.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
And that game is still really recent.
Yeah.
But I guess by pre-ordering you saved $5.
Yeah, I bought Mortal Kombat X 8 months after launch, and was Goro a pre-order bonus?
Yeah.
Goro was $5 for me.
Yeah, and all the retail skins and all that other stuff eventually go on sale for most games. So,
it's not worth it. Typically. All right.
It's a minefield.
Yes, it certainly is. One more email. It's from TK Cheng, becoming a frequent emailer here. I think we had him or her last week. Please rate, if you would, the pantheon of French fry form factors.
Oh, boy.
Condiments are not part of this rating, but condiment delivery can be a consideration.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, the primary cultivars of French fry are waffle, steakhouse, crinkle cut, hand cut, and shoestring/julienne. Feel free to add any I might have missed, or even include close cousins like hash browns.
I think waffle is a major contender for the top.
I would agree.
Same.
If you get the right steak cut ones, the big thick ones, with enough grease and stuff, when you bite through and it's really juicy and everything. But if it's the big, way too hard one, then the steak isn't great.
I like a crispy all the way through French fries. So
steak
fries are fine, but
there are some steak fries that are mostly grease, which those are the good ones.
Steak fries.
I actually don't.
You can
want
put a lot of
grease.
seasoning on those as well.
Yeah, I guess so, but I think those are kind of toward the bottom for me.
I don't want damp French fries.
What are McDonald's? Are they hand cut?
Those are. That would be the style that we're going with here. I'm not sure that those are hand
No, those
cut.
definitely not cut by hand. But
Okay.
yeah.
Briefly, have I ever explained how I used to eat every McDonald's fry growing up?
I'm afraid to ask.
It's pretty gross, I guess, but every single fry, and keep in mind, this is years upon years upon years, from early childhood to probably teenage years. I would take every single fry, not the harder, some are super hard and you can't, like, they're not spongy at all, but the normal ones. And I would fold it over and I would squeeze it as hard as I could to get all the grease out and everything. I would fold it over again, squeeze it all out, fold it, squeeze it. So by the end, it was just like a little thing. My fingers were just covered in grease. It was like a little ball of grease. And like a lot of the potato stuff had come out at that point. But I swore up and down that it made it taste better. So it took me forever to eat things of fries at McDonald's because I had to independently fold up each fry time and time again until I couldn't fold it again.
You should talk to a doctor about this.
I just stopped doing it eventually.
Okay.
My mom was constantly like, just put the fries in your mouth. And I was like, no, Mom, I've got this figured out. This is how they taste better. This is how you unlock the flavor.
I would go ahead.
I thought my French fry tick was weird, which was just that I would eat all the fries before I'd eat the sandwich.
That's
understandable.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I like curly fries.
I was
going to say,
where's
a
curly
slightly
fry?
different thing.
Absolutely
but-
think that
Like
curly,
a seasoned curly fry, like an Arby's.
Arby's are the best.
curly belongs on this list, I
Yeah.
think, for sure.
I don't know about
I
the
think-
Julienne, the super thin ones.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Shoestrings?
They're fine. They're good, but they're not as good as ours.
Too fancy for me.
Yeah.
That's like you went to a restaurant and you're like, yeah, okay, give me what's steak Fritz?
You
What's
put
a
some
Fritz?
put some aioli on those things.
Fuck no.
Ooh.
I like a crinkle cut. I think those are fine.
I guess.
Crinkle cut's the wavy, right?
Yeah.
The Ore-Ida you put in the
Yeah,
oven,
yeah.
and
That's probably my least favorite.
they're all right. They're
You
fine.
get them crispy enough. I think they're good.
They're the ruffles of fries.
I gotta say, waffle is the top.
I think so.
Just a truly sublime waffle fry.
But you
It's
don't
about as good as it gets.
You don't see them often, though. Like, I've eaten a billion times more of pretty much all those other kind of fries. Because
Yeah,
where do you
what-
get
what-
waffle fries?
Carl's Jr.,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A
waffle
Oh,
fries
Chick-fil-A
are
ones are
the-
so
are
good.
the ultimate.
If you Chick-fil-A ones with the yellow barbecue sauce, the like honey barbecue sauce they have, is just incredible.
All of these are trumped by hash browns, though.
No, I'm not on the hash brown train.
Such a different thing.
That's yeah.
Can't even eat it with your hands.
Again, like that's
McDonald's
the,
ones
That's
you
the
can.
thing where
That's
I
not-
want them crispy all the way through. I don't want dampness. I don't want chewiness. I want fucking rock hard crispy puck. When it comes to hash browns. So,
I mean, so like McDonald's.
yeah. Well, no, because sometimes those are even a little too
Oh, really? Okay.
undercooked, and by undercooked I mean properly cooked.
Those are pretty good, though. I
in
like
the middle.
McDonald's hash browns.
My
All right,
MO
yeah.
for hash browns is to like diner hash browns, which you probably wouldn't really like because it's not. Well, some of them are like cooked to a crisp.
I like the tops of them. How about that?
Okay,
and then you get
yeah.
under the tops, and you're like,
I like
Smothered,
so
covered,
yeah.
capped.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll smother them
Waffle House.
with barbecue sauce or not barbecue
What about
sauce,
some sriracha?
ketchup, and then dump Tabasco on them, and then
Okay.
fold it over a couple of times so you get like this mash, and then that's what you eat.
and then you squeeze the grease out.
Yep.
And then,
Uh-huh.
Sounds
Maybe take some toast and like grab it like a taco, and then eat the
Oh shit!
yeah.
That's
That's a good
That
delivery
sounds
system.
I like ketchup as a condiment. I refuse to use it during breakfast at any stage of the process.
Yeah, same
I'm
here.
with you.
Like I don't want the
I'm a
ketchup
hot sauce
flavor
in the
near
morning
Yeah.
kind of
any,
guy.
any
Yeah.
breakfast thing. Hot sauce for the same deal. Like,
Oh, really?
I don't want any of that
Oh
stuff.
man, I put hot sauce all over my breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like breakfast food a lot. I don't need to put stuff on it. It just gets in the way. Except for like a biscuits and gravy situation. Or like that style of sausage gravy on hash browns, I think would be
Yep.
fun.
The like white chunky gravy.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's such
Sausage
great.
gravy.
A chicken fried steak.
That stuff's just killing you.
It's
As you
so
put it
good,
into your
though.
body, you're like, well, this is it for me, I guess.
Yeah.
So good,
but
though.
sometimes,
Diverts from your esophagus directly into your arteries.
yeah.
That stuff was made for people who farm for 12 hours a day
Yeah.
or work in a sawmill or something.
Right.
Not people who sit on their ass and play video games.
Yeah, no, typing for a living is not conducive to the biscuits and gravy lifestyle. Though that didn't stop me from trying.
Pretty good after bar food, man. I'm missing
That's
the
true.
hell out
Yeah.
of Waffle House right now because
Yep.
that was a go-to
Yeah.
destination after the bar.
Oh,
You
shit.
know,
Waffle House
all
is
that
huge.
We
stuff.
would go to Denny's, or there was a Lions out here for a long time that was open late.
Yeah.
Up where I was at.
Do you guys have Perkins?
No.
I've heard
No
of
Perkins?
I've
Is
done
it-
Perkins.
it. Is it just like a Waffle House
It-
style?
It's like
It's
a
a
Denny's,
Denny's,
but
yeah.
they have like a cartoonishly large American flag outside each one. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
like half a mile wide, it feels like.
Jeez.
Makes it taste better.
So, waffle?
I
Curly.
guess, yeah.
I'm
I
going
mean,
curly. What the hell?
Yeah.
I would definitely, yeah.
if I can pick one, I will say Chick-fil-A
I remember when
waffle fries.
curly fries came out,
Oh, shit.
revolutionized the game.
You can still buy them.
Was that
Oh,
a
yeah.
Frozen food section.
Was that like a late breaking development?
I feel like there was zero. Maybe it was me hearing about them.
I guess I don't
or that maybe
remember.
they got invented. I don't know what the fuck happened. But there was a time before curly fries.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
And then at some point, like someone added them to a menu, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I feel like Arby's is the first place I ever saw.
Yeah, me too.
There was no
Curly-
Arby's
seasoned
here
curly
for
fries.
years and years and years. It was the 90s when they finally put an Arby's in
Yeah.
in my neighborhood.
But is it the seasoning on the curly fries?
That's part of
That's
it.
a big
think
part.
That's a
of
big
it.
part of it.
Yeah.
because you can get that seasoning on like zesty fries, which are fucking
true.
fantastic
Yeah.
as well.
You know,
But wait, there's also sweet potato fries and
not a fan.
chicken fries.
I will say
Chicken fries are not
that doesn't
not
count.
fries. Sweet
Doesn't
potato
count.
fries. I just
Sweet potato fries are
I
good.
just- I don't-
That's
I
not a
just
cut,
don't-
though.
They're good, but
okay.
yeah.
They're
I
the
don't
hand
like
cut.
sweet potato.
I would
They're
say about curly fries, I would not like them as much if they didn't have the seasoning.
I've had
They
them without
make
the
them-
seasoning, and they're not as good.
They're still fun.
Yeah.
They're like little springs that you
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's true.
know-
When
I
you
don't-
get when you get the little corkscrew,
Yeah,
like
they're
a
good.
pigtail.
I don't know that I've
yeah.
ever seen curly fries that were unseasoned.
They make them for sure. I feel like my cafeteria in high school might have sold those. But yeah, they definitely
Alright.
exist.
Weird.
They exist, but they shouldn't.
Yeah. Why would they?
I'm gonna go with waffle.
Chick-fil-A waffle.
That's it.
Actually, well, yeah. If we're talking just absolute best, Casey Joe's Barbecue in Kansas City has the best fries I've ever tasted.
Sometimes a waffle cut fry will get a little too thick for my taste.
Yeah.
In the center, it's my same problem with hash browns, where the
Yeah.
center of it will be a little too
It's
mushy.
really irregular.
Yeah.
Well, if the cut is good,
Yeah.
there's so many little nooks and crannies for the salt to get in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. All right. Now that we're super hungry, we'll stop reading emails and end of this podcast.
All right.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's good.
All right. So how's everybody doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Ready to go back out in the world?
Oh.
eat.
I'm
Yeah.
hungry, and I got to vote.
Okay. Yes, I actually
Go
also
vote
have to do
if
that.
you haven't already.
Yes.
Dude, by mail. It's so much easier.
Yeah, I should probably look into that.
It's awesome. They send you the stuff. You
Sure.
fill it out. You send it back weeks at a time.
That would have
You
been
get to
so
lord that over your idiot friends. It's a great time.
That would have been so nice because I spent like an hour going through all the state propositions yesterday and like
Yeah.
formulating an opinion on each one and
So I
writing,
sat there with a laptop
and
and go
writing
like,
it all
oh,
down.
I was able to sit there and like read up on it with ballot in hand and go like, all right, sure, fine, all right, murdering people. I don't know. Let's read about it.
yeah. Yep. There's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's all get out of here and go do our civic duty. And if you haven't done that, make sure you do as well. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Giant Bombcast. We'll see you here back next week. Same time.
This episode was brought to you in part by Loot Crate, who is sponsoring today's episode. If you're looking to get some stuff in the mail of a pop culture variety, the November Crate is available right now, and it's got stuff from Doctor Strange, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Big Trouble in Little China, and more. You've got until the 19th at 9 p.m. to subscribe and get that crate, because when the cutoff happens, it's over. That's it. Head over to lootcrate.com/bombcast and enter the offer code BOMBCAST to save $3 off any new subscription today.